good evening, or good morning, good afternoon, depending on whereabouts you are. Lovely to see you all on this fine Monday. How is everyone doing? How was your weekend? How did your teams get on? Let me know, it'd be good to hear from you. It's lovely to see so many people in already. Let's say a welcome to everyone before we head on over, find out what's going on with IFK Mariehamn, where we're back today after our little sequester into the world of civilization on Saturday. And then we'll go and play a mystery minigame. We have a couple of new minigames coming up today as well. We've got 5 in total. They include, though, the Journeyman and Top 10. So a couple of new things to potentially see. But before we do that, let's say hello, good and proper. Because we've got Levi here this evening. Now, Levi's not doing great, so we're going to be a distraction. We're going to be as chaotic as possible tonight. And for that to happen, I'm kind of relying a little bit on you guys as well. So this is your permission, and I'm kind of looking at you directly, Quadmo, to be as absolutely unhinged as you possibly can be. We also have Johnny Trotter in. We've got Jay Teller, the wonderful Jay Teller, who didn't just pop in over here on Twitch, but he went over to YouTube before we even started and liked the video. Now, I'm naturally going to appreciate that a lot. So if you are watching over on YouTube and you, for whatever reason, seem to enjoy it, please do consider hitting that like button. I think it does help somehow. I'm not really sure how the whole YouTube pushing stuff out for live stuff works, but, you know, it seems to be doing all right. We also have a Adam on the Break FM in, and Hollyfab as well. Now, Hollyfab has pointed out that there's been a little bit of a wait for some Boa Vista videos from On the Break FM. So part of that chaos can be tonight, and I would never ever condone bullying, but please feel free to bully Adam into doing more videos. I'm sorry, Adam. It has to be done. It has to be done. So we've got Hollyfab. We've got the glorious Dill 40k in as well. Now, Dill is incredible. Now, for those that don't know, he's LA based, so he has had to evacuate recently, but he's now back home and he's planning on streaming this evening. So if we finish around the time that that Dill is streaming, that's where we're going to be raiding out to this evening. I think it would be very nice for us all to show a little bit of love. I chucked a shout out earlier, but he is still in the chat right down near the recent chats as well. So click on his profile, head over and give him a follow if you can. It'd be absolutely incredible. He's also lamenting the defeat of the Chargers in the playoffs in this weekend's NFL as well. So an extra reason to show a bit of support. We also have Out Fabian. We have a Tales of the Tapes in as well. There's an RJ. There's a Quadmo. There's always a Quadmo. There we have Zenergy Mashups in. He's going to be heading off to Uruguay in FM, just to be clear. Like, maybe, I don't know, Zenergy, are you planning on heading to Uruguay geographically as well? That would be quite fun. That would definitely be, if it turns out that we weren't actually just choosing your new save, but your new home for the foreseeable future. GNG is here as well. Welcome in, GNG. Lovely to see you, my dude. We have a Look Mar No Pants in as well. Now, he's noticed that this week's video on YouTube is going to be about Christian Streich, the former SC Freiburg manager. He was in charge for 13 years. As he says himself, an interesting character, I think would be a reasonably fair assessment. A firebrand, I think he has often been called, but also a very interesting direct style of football. So hopefully that'll be something to look forward to later in the week. We also have we have Bam Bam in, we have Supreme Quan in, we have Real Betis in, we have Cyril, even, over on YouTube, and it's 10 p.m. So you're watching the stream on sleep timer before school tomorrow. I should probably say something responsible, Cyril, like, go to bed and rest up well, but nah, it's all good. No one needs to know. El Norby is in as well, and El Norby reckons we're going to win the Champions League, which is as good an opportunity as any to head on over to the save and show just about where things are right now. But here we are. We are currently, or we're not. Let's wait for the thing to appear. There we go. Now it's appeared. We are currently top of the league. We won the league last season. We're at the halfway point. We have a 2-point lead over HJK, who have played a game extra than us. We're still undefeated. So this is kind of going okay right now. We've been a little bit not as convincing as perhaps we'd like to be. But of those 11 games, 6 of them have been away from home, and maybe maybe as we move into the second half of the season, we can kind of build up that rhythm with our players back to health. So here is our squad, and we have had some injury problems. Lagway Bayangiro was brought in to be our shadow striker, and he got injured basically in, I think it's like the second league game of the season, and is out for 9 months with a is it a cruciate ligament injury? It was a cruciate ligament injury. Arvid Lundberg has had a couple of weeks off as well with an injury. Our wingers have had some time off too. The Finger, previously known as Boris Fortuna, has also had some time out. So we've ended up not necessarily being as fluid as we would have liked, but we're still top, so that's okay. Let's get to the big news though. Whilst we're away, I moved forward. So I played 2 weeks off stream. That take us from the last competitive game we played, game 11 in the league on Friday evening, up until the 12th league game of this season. So no games have been played, but during that time, we've got our Champions League matchup. We're going to be in the first round of the Champions League Champions qualifying path, and our opponents are going to be Karabag. Now, my immediate reaction to that is, shit. Karabag are quite a good team. They're teams that they're a team that have regularly made the way all the way through to the Champions League proper. They might not be a team that are going to trouble the later rounds per se, but that is maybe as difficult a game as we could have got. So I'm not feeling confident. I'm not feeling confident at all. The only thing that might work in our favour is that we are a summer league, so we're at least going to be in full swing in terms of fitness and condition, and hopefully we can use that to give us a little bit of momentum in the early stages. So fingers crossed on that front. Bear me one moment. And there we go. So that's what we've got coming up today. We've got a couple of league games. Then we're going to head into the Champions League, our first Champions League campaign. So it's going to be probably an interesting challenge this evening. And by the way, during that time, Callie Rin, thank you very much for the follow, and DJ Vlad937, very, very much appreciate it. If you're comfortable jumping in chat, love to know where you're from, who you support, who you're playing with in FM. There is zero obligation to do so whatsoever. Maybe you don't need to do that at all. We've got some wonderful conversation going on about Warhammer, if that's more your thing as well. I can see that Zenergy is a bit of a cinch man. Dill's been playing with the Underworld's Warband, which is quite nice. Interesting. Yeah, let us know your.
It's not the statistics. You tell me. How do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
What an absolute gent. Look, no pants with 5 give subscriptions. It's not showing up on my feed properly, so I'm going to have to pop on over to my laptop here and see there. That is gift subscriptions to Codaline, to Sisu Sankari, to Jake AFC18, to Pixelated Suits, and to Nick Chappell. What an absolute gentleman. It is not the statistics. It is not the statistics. Very, very much appreciated. Bless you. Bless you kindly. So I must confess, I've got a kill team still sitting in my cupboard of Tyranids. And the reason I've gone for Tyranids is because I can't paint for shit. And so subsequently, they can just be all black and we can go for like a xenomorph kind of theme there, which kind of lets me get away with it. They're also, for those that know, Tyranids are sometimes referred to Nids. And subsequently, that means that I have named them all after, shall we call them famous progressives. The kill team is called the Communids, and they're all named after famous communists, with each various setup of possible. There's a point limit, so I've got various permutations of how I could set up, and each of them have been named after chapters from Karl Marx's Das Kapital. Because I'm cool. I am very, very cool. Right, let's head on over to our first mini game of the day, and let's head over to one of the new ones. So we're going to play a round of the Journeyman. So the way that the Journeyman works, and let's actually before I explain this, let's actually respond to some of the comments, because I'm a little bit behind on that element there. So Johnny Trotter says that famous communists, I presume Rosa Luxemburg features. Rosa Luxemburg most definitely features. It is pretty much the first one that I named, to be completely honest. So Callie Wynn is from Czech here, and you play create your club in Czech Second League. This is your first year in the top 3 teams in half season. Fantastic. Whereabouts in Czechia are you from as well? I mean, I've got to confess, I absolutely love Prague, a beautiful, beautiful city. And if I had the capacity for learning a new language, Czech would be it. I mean, I've learned about 3 phrases and that's it. Zenergy is a big fan of the Horus Heresy series. Really grabbed your attention. Everything you wanted in a book series. A fine choice. Kvez and Heston Vanna are talking about the Moneyball Excel sheet. So let's have a look at what Heston said. By the way, welcome in, Heston. Lovely to see you. So I take it, have you been using the Moneyball sheets from maybe like someone like Cult of FM? He does some fantastic work out there, where you look at taking the aggregates of the best performing players and use that as your guiding point. And there's also some other wonderful ones out there as well. Not the only one there. We have a big question as well for today, which was what game did you most enjoy over the weekend in the FA Cup? We've got some great suggestions. That people that naturally have mentioned the Arsenal-Man United game, a game where both teams were, let's be honest, a little bit rubbish. I'm sure that won't upset anyone in chat whatsoever. But Real Betis says probably the Leicester QPR game, because there were loads of goals. There really was. Absolutely fantastic game. Right, so we've got... Look, my name says, what on earth are they talking about? Kind of lost me there for a sec. I rarely make any sense, let's be honest. We've got a DM bassist in. We've got, I'm sure I saw somebody else pop in as well. If I've missed you, I do apologise. That's what I saw. I saw DJ Vlad mention that he's from Atlanta. Liverpool supporter for years now, just starting a West Ham save today. Marvellous stuff. Right, let's explain how the Journeyman works. You're going to see pins on a map, and that's going to indicate where this mystery player played throughout the career. You're going to see one after the other. Your job is to guess who the mystery player is. Certainly to start out with, at least, the reveal is going to be in order of where they moved in career. So you'll have their first club up first, their second club up second, and so forth. We'll see, though, how it goes over various weeks as to whether this works particularly well. So yeah, probably the best way to do it is to start off by revealing the first clue and see if you can work out whereabouts this player was playing and who it could possibly be. So here we go. Our very first clue is a pin there, 1987 to 1991. Real Betis came in with a guess before it being revealed, crafty, and went for Zlatan Ibrahimovic. It's not Zlatan Ibrahimovic, but unfortunately, yeah, 1987 is going to be a little bit too early. So Lukmano Pants says, so we know the country but not the division. Indeed. So you should be able to work out the country. You might not know the division. You should be able to work out, though, roughly where that club is based. Obviously, it takes a little bit of geography knowledge, and you know these pins are kind of loosely placed. It's only a relatively small map. So, hi folks, I'm signed kind of in and out at the moment, says DM Basis. No worries at all. Enjoy lurking. So Carl Daniel went for Mark Antoine Fortune. Quadmo shouted Ravanelli. Real Betis has gone for Cannavaro. Look, Mark, is it in chronological order? It is in chronological order indeed. New Game Hype says Llama. Welcome in, Llama. How are you doing, my beautiful, beautiful Brummy friend? I hope you are well. It's kind of a little bit redundant nowadays shouting out Llama because you guys all know him. But if you don't, you should most definitely be following arguably the best FM streamer out there right now. The Cali win has guessed Andrea Perlo. Zenergy has gone for Bajo. These are all very, very fine guesses. We haven't got it correct yet, though. So let's move on and see if the second clue gives any kind of hint. We have 1989 to 1990. And there is a brackets L. What on earth does brackets L mean, you might be asking? That means that they were on loan. So, 1987 to 1991, they were somewhere in the middle of the country. 1989 to 1990, they were on loan somewhere in the north of said country. Now, I know you know what country that is, but, I'm going to pretend like I don't want to give it away. So Jabez has suggested that it's Buffon, which is a fabulous guess. A fabulous guess indeed. It's not correct, but it is a very good guess. Ticky Press is in. Welcome in, Ticky Press. Lovely to see you here, my dude. Quadmo just shouts loan. Supreme Quan says loser. What's the loser comment in response to? L for loser. Perfect. Right. Yes. Out Fabi's gone for Voller. We've got a guess for Albertini, for Antonio Conte, for Ruud Gullit, for Beppe Signori. Crodmo says it's annoying as he's going to know it's his era. We've got guesses for Nedved and Casaraghi. They are all amazing guesses, but we're not quite there yet. Tales of the Tapes suggest Massimiliano Allegri. Oh, and Ancelotti coming in from Red Hat, Costa Curta. These are all fantastic guesses, but we're not there. So far, we've had one person get the position right. Only one person get the position right as far as I'm aware. I will try and scan through just to double check. But I think, yes, only one person has got the position of this player right. From 1991 to 1999, they moved west. They moved west to somewhere. I mean, if you know your geography, this is probably going to give it away. So we've got guesses coming in for Del Piero, Galgiarisi, Ruzzi. In fact, Crudmo is so keen to suggest that it's Angelo Peruzzi that he's put it in twice, once in capitals and once far more normally. Zenergy has gone for Toldo. We've got Zola in there. We've got Viali. Yes, it's Angelo Peruzzi. He's very, very certain it's Angelo Peruzzi. Holifab has gone for Pagluca. And I can tell you that someone has got it right, and it is a goalkeeper. So the question now is it Peruzzi? As Crudmo so assertively claims, is it Gianluca Pagluca? Is it Toldo? Well, maybe we'll find out with this hint here, because he then moved a little bit east, before then returning back to the same city where his career started. Because it is indeed Angelo Peruzzi. It is Angelo Peruzzi. Crudmo is adamant, because there was time at Inter. Peruzzi was at Inter, then Lazio. Boom, shakalaka, Crudmo, he says. Well done indeed. The applause coming in from Levi, from Johnny Trotter, from Adam is very, very well deserved. Fantastic work there. Indeed, so he started at Roma. Roma at the beginning of his career, went on loan to Hellas Verona. Then, as Crudmo's correctly said, went to Juventus, then Inter for a season, and then back to Rome to play for Lazio. Indeed, so apparently Crudmo is a hidden genius, says Matt 160785. Deeply hidden indeed. Tell the Tape says so it's Roma. Thought that the first clue was going to be Livorno, which is fair. It was Roma was the very first one, then off to Verona, then to Turin, Milan, back to Rome. So Real Betis was almost going for Di Canio, but the time didn't match. Indeed, that's going to be the tricky thing. The tricky thing going forwards from here as well is finding players that have played for exactly 5 clubs. There may be some adaptation to this as we go along over time, but yeah, do let me know how you feel about that game. Something I'm always keen to try out different things. We've got another new game as well coming up later on today. So really do appreciate any feedback on that. If you don't want to say it personally, you like, maybe you want to say some mean things, but you don't want it to be accredited to you. If you pop on over to the YouTube channel, there should be a link to a feedback form. I can probably pop it in the Discord afterwards as well, where you can submit comments. Submit comments anonymously. But Johnny says it's a good game. Crodmo approves. Of course Crodmo approves, he just won. Hollyfab likes it, Adam likes it, that's good, Matt likes it. Quan says that it's woke nonsense. And quite possibly. You can say some mean things if you like, you're more than welcome to. Thank you for the hydrate, El Norby. So yeah, let's head on in straight to our next game, which is a home game against Cups. We had a friendly in between. During that time, Samu Seek, a player we signed to be a breakthrough prospect over the summer, he played the game. He scored in the game. Then yesterday, 19th of June, he was out injured for 4 weeks. So that's a bit of a shame. But otherwise, we should be pretty good to go. The finger's not quite match fit yet. Lundberg is on his way back from injury as well. So they'll be on the bench. Hopefully we can move forwards. So right, who's for some chaos? What's the best thing to spread put on toast? A good question. And the answer is very boring, but it's clearly butter. Butter is the most amazing thing that's ever existed. Holifab is only going to say mean things about Crudmo. That's perfectly reasonable. I will also quite happily read mean things about Crudmo sent anonymously. Betis loves a Guess the City game. Perfect. Quan does like it, even though he's called it woke nonsense, which is fine. It can be both woke nonsense and good. That's the way I look at it. So we've got Bill Houdini in. Welcome in, Bill. How you doing? You're currently the 5th tier KNVB Becker semi-finalist. 1.3 million for an amateur club was the dopamine hit. That's an incredible payout. Incredible payout. So Holly Fab is a fan of Vegemite. FM Llama reckons that a knife is the best for spreading on toast. I see what you did there. As Energy goes for butter, chocolate spread, then a layer of cheese. Now, I can't say I've had chocolate spread and cheese on toast, but chocolate spread and cheese in a sandwich, absolutely elite. And people think I'm weird when I say that. Right, let's tell them that I expect them to win and that I want them to play well. Let's head into the first game of the evening. Here goes. Right, so you're not Australian. Oh, right, the Vegemite comment. You don't need to be a Vegemite to like. You don't need to be a Vegemite to like Australians. You don't need to be a Vegemite to like Australians. You also don't need to be an Australian to like Vegemite, surely. Bam Bam, absolutely, he's a man after my taste. Real butter. That's all you need. Liver pate for Carl Daniel. Very nice choice there. It is exotic. Holifab is an only Lurpak kind of guy. Wait, wasn't there supposed to be a drawing of Crudmo? We do have a drawing of Crudmo. We've got we do have some Crudmo merch sitting in the wings waiting for once I've got the full. Oh no, here's Heinen, and R2 Heinen hits the outside of the post inside the opening minute. That requires an immediate focus, guys. Come on, they've got a player down, and we're essentially playing 11 versus 10 here. There you go. Very, very gracious of you. So yes, there is some Crudmo merch waiting in the wings. Adam has never tried chocolate spread and cheese, but you are partial to bacon and peanut butter sandwich. That's an interesting combination. Enquist with the corner. Komecho at the far post. He doesn't get there. Stavitsky will gather. It's not the Stavitskys. It is the Stavitskys. It's not. Satari heads over. Apologies once more. Matt says, we knew you were weird before that statement. That's fair. That is completely and utterly fair. Ronnie Trotter suggests you don't need to be Australian to like Australians. I would say you probably do. Just in case you're listening in, Lestry, love you really. I mean, I know you're... Are you naturalised Australian now? Or are you still very much trying to hold off the Australian moniker? Right, here's your cube. Sent it into Satari. Satari makes it 1-0. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. We should have had a celebration song for Satari for today, but unfortunately it sounded shit. So Johnny, your suggestion of Susudio by Phil Collins is what we're going for, but yeah, it wasn't good enough. At the last minute today, I pulled the plug on it. We're gonna try and refine it over the next week or so. 1-0, that'll do. So Lukmano Pants suggests to the tune of Head and Shoulders, Knees and Toes, chocolate butter, cheese on toast, cheese on toast, cheese on toast, chocolate butter, cheese on toast. Beautiful. How can you go wrong with that? Mazinga with a header, looking for the equaliser. That wasn't ever going to cause any trouble. not necessarily what we're going to call a particularly good game so far. We're half an hour in. There's been 4 shots in total. We're going to just try and... we've had 67% ball share there, so maybe we can start trying to take a few more risks. Here's Stavitsky. He sends it back to Diane. Here's Savalainen now to Raitanen. Back out wide. It's not really going to be much chance for him to progress there. And now it's a loose pass. Savalainen, though, steps in. Bauer, got to play it out wide to Karkinen. Karkinen to Enquist. Back again to Karkinen. Yes, that's what we want. Sends the cross in. Satari at the far post. It's a good save from Viljanen. Good save. They actually did some of the things that I wanted to see them do. Beautiful. Quad merch, exactly. A Tales of the Tapes is a fan of peanut butter, maybe with some marmalade. Is there a particular flavour of marmalade you like to pair that up with, Tales? So, if it ever happens, would it be appallingly arrogant of me to buy Crudmo merch? Crudmo, I would expect you to be the main person to buy Crudmo merch. Just for the joy of having your own face drawn on your body. Like, I mean, I do send my apologies to Clodo if that ever happens. When that happens, though. Bill Houdini says, take my money right now for an It's Not the Statistics t-shirt with a main man's face on it. So I've got a design just with a balloon on a needle. I tried to draw a wind tunnel. That didn't go well. Quadmo bought a t-shirt of his own band because I thought it was cool. It is a cool t-shirt. Let's be fair. Right, I'm happy with how we've dominated possession. I'm not happy that we're only 1-0 up, though. Diane is on a yellow card, so on can come Dahlstrom. I think we're just going to up the tempo as well. Let's try and get that second goal, and then maybe we can just bring it back a little bit. So some say R2 Heinonen only communicates in the form of beeps and whistles. Heinenen's contract is up at the end of this season as well. So one thing I was looking at is Heinenen's contract is up at the end of the season, so he's almost certainly going to be a target for us, even though we've got 2 players in that position already. R2D to Heinonen. What a player. Right, here's Dahlstrom. Finds Jakub. Jakub kind of runs down the right, creates some space, feeds Stavitsky. Stavitsky gets the cross into the far post. There's Sutari. The header he had to was just a little bit too floated. Couldn't generate the power to beat the keeper. So Holofab says the shitter the better. Absolutely. Shatari got the score. Oh, we're calling Satari Shatari. Poor lad. Poor lad. Here's the cross. Bauer can't get there. Here's Savalainen. Yeah, there is. You'd be shocked to hear a standard that I try to achieve with the bad celebration songs. That standard isn't high normally. Let's be fair. So Clodar says she'll buy a Crudmo t-shirt and wear it too. Yes, Mrs. Crudmo is also a loser. You're only saying that because she can't hear you say it. Stavitsky in Miertenen gets it clear. A ginormous picture of Crudmo's face on a t-shirt seems terrifying. It's beautiful. A beautiful, beautiful sight. Is it going to be possible to redeem Crudmo timeouts anytime soon? Absolutely. I can certainly have that in place. I say I can certainly have that in place. I'll have to look into it. I don't know the technical side of things, but yes. Let's have some. So let's let everyone time out Crudmo. That would be chaotic. Right. Main substitutions right now is going to be looking around getting the Finger and Lundberg fit. I think right. Satari scored, but let's bring on Lundberg. I don't think we need to go to 2 up top right now, so I think we're okay in that regard, and we'll do that, which should be absolutely fine. So Tales of the Tapes likes peanut butter and mandarin marmalade. Satari. Good timing. Okay, maybe Satari stays on. Right, thank you for the hydrate, by the way, gents. There we go, indeed. Karkinen does well to find the low cross. Satari with his left foot. Beautiful, beautiful target. Right. The changes now. It's going to be Jakub coming off. Lundberg on. We go to the 4-4-2. That means we need to change this back over. That's going to be ease off tackles, take more risks. We still need to bring the Finger on. We swap these guys around. He becomes a poacher. I think that's okay. I think that's okay. We can't give them another team talk. We've already done that. So, as Quadmo said, you can absolutely advertise your wares, Quadmo. They are called Screaming Mechanical Brain. And if you check out some of the videos on the channel, you'll even get a link to their Spotify, as they very kindly provide me with some vocal-free copies of their singles. Both there are, I can't remember the exact videos that they're on, but they're on some of the long-form videos. They're on some of the shorts as well. Absolutely go and check them out. And, Quadmo, absolutely advertise your wares. Right, Johnny Trotter suggests that that Mrs. Quadmo needs an I'm with Quadmo t-shirt. Absolutely. So Musterman, I missed quite a bit because of work. How did you sign these players? Scouting or trials? So players like Sutari was scouting. Was statistic based. We picked him out in a list, as was Antonio Yakub. Some of the players were trials. Essentially just making sure that we had some bodies that we could bring in. So a little bit of a mix of both. We can make our last two changes. Those two changes are going to be Atli Mana on and Luka Kuitinen on. Always a good idea to change your defense in the final few minutes of a game. Actually, every time I've said that, we haven't then gone and conceded. So that might be okay. So you could just do a vote. Should we time out Quadmo, yes or no? We could. But isn't it fun to allow people to actively do it themselves? Be beautiful. You might have just Googled Quadmo and found his Instagram link. Beautiful. Beautiful thinking there. So Carl Daniel asks, is this the right level of chaos and nonsense for you? It certainly is. Certainly is. You're about to play a Champions League final and you're about to pee yourself. You'll be fine, Carl. You'll be fine. What is... who are you with and who are you playing against? I'm sure you've got this. Okay, a pretty solid win. A pretty solid win at home. Nice way to start off the stream. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Let's make sure we're back on the right thing there. Head on in. That is how we want to start the streams. That is how we want to start the streams. Right, that gives us now a 5-point lead. Inter Turkey do have a game in hand, but the most they can get is 23 points. So that's all right for us as well. Get these guys rested, and we get a whole week off before the next game. I think everyone else will be playing in the Cup, but we got knocked out by the team we play next, KTP. So we should be possibly in quite a good spot as well, coming into the next weekend. We're against teams that are possibly a little bit tired. So that's what we're hoping. So Jake, the Kvez asks, why is there someone called the Finger in the team? So Kvez, this is Boris Fortuna. Apparently, so I'm trusting you, Real Betis, on this. Real Betis informed us that Fortuna translates to the finger in Somalian. So let's call him the Finger, because it's quite funny seeing various news articles where our assistant manager talks about the Finger. He's delighted with the Finger. The Finger really changed things around for us. Oh, big news. I forgot the big news that happened whilst we were moving on between games. We have an international striker. So Arvid Lundberg is not that international striker, unfortunately. Oni Sutari is not that international striker. It's Slaymar. Slaymar got his debut for Finland. He's currently doing pretty well. 7 goals in 12 games over in Norway. Looks to be that he's, 6 goals in the league. Really, really settling in. So nice to see that's going there. Interest has waned. So he's no longer wanted by any of the big teams as well. So hopefully when he comes back from loan, we'll actually have a spot to use him as well, which could be quite nice. Right, so this is a democratic Quadmo abuse stream, apparently. Absolutely, that's what it's all about. What it's all about. Inter Turkey drop points, that's good by me. So Haaland in the mud. Oh, wrong song indeed. Haaland, we haven't heard any Haaland in the mud for a while now. But there is Vikloff holding a wiener. Win at the Vikloff holding a wiener. Exactly. So it's Birmingham versus Inter in 2036. You've got this, Carl. You've got this. An Inter featuring 2 players on loan from you. Fair enough. Sure, does that not mean they're cup tied though? Surely that's a good thing, right? So there was cheers coming in for Slaymar. Beautiful stuff. Good for him. Finger up the Slaymar. Lundberg might be out for the next game. Queetonen looks like he definitely is. Slaymar to snub a return to Mariehamn because he's loving Norway too much. Well, look, if we get a £1 million bid for him, he's gone. We've agreed that. We've said we will honour that agreement 100%. So if they want to keep hold of him, 100% he's gone. As like £1 million is crazy money. Jonathan is in over on YouTube. Welcome in, Jonathan. How are you doing? Never apologise. You're not late at all. You are here when you're here, and that's what matters. Lovely to see you. How was your weekend, my dude? Right. Snore is, oh my word. Snore is apparently on the verge of an IFK Mariehamn clean sheet milestone. The best was 11. Oh no, is this a silly thing? Because no, it is true. So he only kept 9 clean sheets in his first season across 21 games, but he's already on pace to potentially reach that 11 mark, and we're only just gone halfway through the season. Bless him. Holifab says, he thinks we're too small since he's an international now. That is true. That is true. So Lookmar says, can you add a player instruction for Fortuna so we can talk about how the finger went somewhere he wasn't supposed to be? We could. I am a little bit wary of. Well, okay, he's got specific places he needs to be. He needs to be coming back and marking. So we can. He's a winger. Wingers aren't great at marking. So there's probably going to be many opportunities where finger isn't where he's supposed to be. I think we'll get that opportunity. Oh, Inter Turku beat HJK. Win our game this weekend, and that opens up the lead to 7 points, which could be quite nice. Frank Horrigan is in. Welcome in, Frank. How are you doing? Lovely to see you, my dude. Quadmo suggests Rome for position. That would indeed make sense. I don't want to unbalance our system at the moment. It kind of works okay. Finger in particular, when he's fit, has been very good. I'm scared. I'm scared. That's what it is. That's ultimately what it is. Right, Queetonen can drop to the bench. In comes Holmberg. Actually, can Akereke come back on the bench? Or does that turn us... That's okay. Akereke onto the bench. We're fine there. I think we stick with the same lineup. Kub, Sitari. I think we've changed to be more expressive multiple times throughout the last few games. So let's start with it from the off and see how we fare in that regard. So you want to make the finger roam. Oh, that makes me shudder. That makes me shudder. That feels like the kind of thing I could imagine Jimmy Savile saying. Right, into an away game against KTP. KTP, last time we played them at their place, we lost 1-0 in the cup. It was a game that we deserved to lose because we Arsenaled it. We created loads of chances and we just didn't finish them. And then later on, they took the lead. Here's Karpin sending it in. Satawi, 30 seconds in. Big chance. So Jonathan Edwards says, Havertz helped me lose most of my hair, but other than that, pretty good. Yes, I mean, Arsenal's finishing yesterday was truly atrocious. Stavitsky sends it into Satawi, who heads his second chance over 4 minutes in. 2 pretty good deliveries so far. Yes, make the finger roam until he roams outside the stadium. Yeah, we don't want him roaming too far. Lakasso hits the post, cleared by Kumetio. Enquist can come away with it now. 3 good chances so far for both teams. We're doing okay from a momentum point of view, but let's just encourage players a little bit. We haven't used encourage for a long time. Normally when I press encourage, we concede within 5 minutes. So I'm kind of looking for confirmation bias here. Ogunbaro back to Bjornstad, into Streng. Streng plays it out wide to Okeke. Okeke down the wing, tackled by Stavitsky, back to the keeper. Right, what's going to happen here? Are we going to just hoof it long? We're going to hoof it a middle length. Bawa into Satari, plays it through to Yakub. Yakub is in. Yakub puts it wide. Oh, Yakub. Right, so Zenergy says, I was going to whisper you, but as you have them blocked from strangers, I'll just say it in here. Your music scratches itches in my brain. It's good. That's nice to hear. Now, look, guys. Zenergy has said that the music is good, so that's more reason for you guys to go out and look up Screaming Mechanical Brain. Now, Quadmo has been told that he can advertise here, and he hasn't yet. So, if needs be, I will link it. As Sutari makes it 1-0, it's offside. Sutari makes it 0-0. I will link it in the Discord afterwards, if he's not going to do it. ACAB says, I'm at my parents', will try to attend later. Lovely to have you in, my dude. Absolutely no worries. You know what we're like. We get through very few games during a course of us. Actually, we've done pretty well in that garden in recent times, but yeah, like if you can't make it later, we'll more than be able to catch you up come tomorrow. Like Kwan says, because you have to encourage your team and not the opposition. That is true. That is true. Here's Stavitsky. Stavitsky's shot blocked. Goes behind for a corner. I feel like we've certainly been the better team here so far, but we're not taking our chances. This is what happened last time. So we do have to be mindful. Here, Larkso on the counter-attack. It's 1 man against 4. He plays it back, and understandably that didn't end up in a chance. Here's Diane into Yakub. Savalainen plays it back in. Just nice, pretty passing. Diane back to Reitinen. We're all very crowded over on the right here, so we go back to the keeper. Can we now spread play out on the left? We've got 2 players over. Maybe we could get the ball down the wing. Bawa comes forward, plays it to Enquist. Come on, swing it in, Enquist. That's what I want to see. Satari heads it. Oh, okay. Keeper had to get something onto it, push it over. Into the last 10 minutes, we're going to demand more. We want something to come of it before half time if we can. In fact, yeah, let's up the tempo as well. Let's really push to take the lead before half-time. Here's Yakub. Diane finds Stavitsky. Stavitsky cuts inside, sees Karkinen. So much space for Karkinen. Karkinen fires it straight at Varys, and it's another corner. Another corner. So Jonathan Edwards says, I bet Yaya Sonogo would tear up the Finnish league. I can imagine he certainly would. Pace, strength, aerial ability. You'd think that he would do quite well. Would he come to the Finnish league, though? That's that would be the big question. So look, Mar, just a random observation. You're playing a 3 at the back system, and it's crazy how far into the box my wing backs go. It's nuts. And it's nuts how often they squander good chances. Like, yeah, if you can find a wing back who's very good at finishing, they are devastating in 3 at the back systems. Right, Enquist finds Karkinen. Back to Enquist. Diane, Enquist. Karkinen makes the turn. That's got to be 1-0. It is. Absolute thunder bastard into the top corner. Seems that we were, everyone was just playing past the ball to Enquist, into Enquist, back to Enquist. Eventually, though, Karkinen takes the moment to turn, absolutely thumps it into the corner. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful. Crodmo says it proves that Zenji Mashups has found the correct band as he subscribed to you on YouTube. Perfect. Right, can KTP respond immediately? Hipping into Larkso. Snore claims the cross, thank God. What's going to happen here, though? Drops at his feet, sends it long. Stavitsky can't win a header, surely. He can't. Diane to Bawa. Bawa, can we see Enquist out wide? We can. Enquist, send the cross in, my man. He does. Punched away. Diane! Fair play. No complaints about that shot there from Diane. Right, Ogunbaru with the free kick. Hits the woodwork and goes over. They've had a couple of chances, to be fair. They hit the post twice now, I think. Yeah, they've hit the post twice. In fact, both their chances have hit the woodwork. We're 1-0 up. We deserve to be 1-0 up, though. Momentum has been pretty much all in our favour. And at least we're not going in at 2-0 up, the scary scoreline. So let's head into the second half. Hopefully, just keep as we're going and we should get another goal. He leathered it. He absolutely did. Maestro is in. Welcome in, Maestro. I'm doing well. How are you? Zenergy had to double check as there's a band with the same name based in America. There was not anymore. That's a dull story. Yakub, though, settles the dullness by making it... No, he doesn't. He's offside. Right, so they've hit the woodwork twice. We've had 2 goals disallowed for offside. Pretty fair in my regards, in my opinion. Right, Satari to Diane, Savalainen. Can we make inroads? We can't. But Savalainen recovers. We go all the way back to Snore. Snore will play it to Reitinen, baiting that press. Here's Diane now. Plays it in quick to Sutari. Sutari back to Barwa. Sutari once again. Can he find a pass? He can. There's Karkinen. Karkinen finds Jakub. Jakub with a great first touch. Jakub, you can't take that one away. There is no doubt that was onside. What a lovely, lovely strike from Antonio Jakub, the Syrian international. Right, Sutari did well. Found the pass to Karkinen. This first touch though, Jakub takes it out of his body and then bends it into the top corner. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful. So Blackmin asks how to get your personal skin, because Musterman skin in default doesn't have this bottom panel with the information. Correct, Blackmin. So as Look Marno Pants has said, there are you do get access to all my resources via Patreon. However, they aren't optimized for multiple resolutions. This will only work on 1600 by 900. Various other versions as well might only work in 2560 by 1440. I would certainly recommend heading over and checking out what the offers are at Patreon. I do think that they're very good offers, but if the only thing you're after is the skin, I would not recommend signing up to the Patreon. That is part of a package of bonuses. In and of itself, I wouldn't consider it to be reasonable. Here's Strang, chance to pull one back. Right, so oh my, Aberdeen save. Bojan Majowski's 4 hat-trick in 6 games. Now hasn't scored in 3 months. Crazy, including 2 missed penalties. That is one hell of a downturn in form. Right, Diane comes out, Dahlstrom comes on. Lundberg doesn't come on because he wasn't quite fully fit, but we do bring on the finger, and we do bring on a Karakate. Barwa is 1 yellow card away from a suspension, and he hasn't picked up a yellow card in this game, which is quite a nice change in form for him there. So let's take him off before that happens. Can we get a third? A third would very much be nice into the last 10 minutes. Let's say that we want them to do more. It's been a little bit stale this second half. None of those are coming as corners. Our last changes. On can come Rockman. On can come Atlee Manor. And hopefully that'll be go. It was a brilliant goal. What an incredible finish. Dahlstrom looking to make it 3-0. So Salesman Musterman indeed. Salesman who says, but don't take my wares and my product. Right, Engqvist with the corner. Stari at the back post, can't get there. Laxo has a chance to counter-attack now. Laxo loses out to Rockman, who sends it forwards immediately to no one. Right, Lindfors plays it forwards, right, and wins the header. Here's Berg Pedersen. Berg Pedersen loses out. Here's the finger coming away with it. He loses out to Lindfors. Bjornstad into Lindfors. It's a lot of sending the ball long and getting tackled, but here's Dahlstrom. Oh, that was a poor pass from Dahlstrom. Berg Pedersen comes away. They've got the player over. It's Larkso. Larkso plays it back to Ogbenbaro. Lindfors from distance. Snore gets a hand to it. Bit of an odd save, but it's okay. We clear the danger. Savalainen into the finger. Savalainen into the finger. I'm always going to find the finger funny. I'm such a child. Stick a fork in it. This game is done. You'd think so, but we've thrown away a 2-0 lead from this around this particular time before. So here we go. Larkso steps in. Atlee Mane out to Reitinen. Right, yeah, I'm not really sure what these highlights have been. This highlight feels like it's gone on forever. And it's going to be Rockman with doing something. He plays it back to the finger, finds Dahlstrom, finger shoots. That was a long highlight for what probably wasn't worth it. I'm on to balanced. And yeah, let's just kill this out. So speaking about Patreon, look, Marno Pantsers, I was wondering what the director's cuts types of videos exactly entail. Longer versions of the YouTube release. Yes, so in the explainer post, I do kind of break down a little bit more. It's going to be sections that it's sections that will be cut ultimately. So it's things where I don't necessarily have the technical skill to visualize what I'm saying. So coming up in the Christian Strike video, for example, I'm going to be taking a look at the statistical performance of Freiburg last season based on FBref. When we did that with the Pimienta video, there were some wonderful articles and smarter scout visualizations available to use by people who are far smarter than me in terms of data connections. So there are visualizations to use. I don't have that with the Strike video, so that's going to be part of the director's cut, where we just look through a spreadsheet, which isn't particularly visually appealing for a video. And then there's going to be like just general little extra bits that I think are interesting, but maybe aren't integral to the video. So we'll also be looking at how that tactic works with other teams. Right, now I was going to do a victory song right now, but we've got an ad coming up in about 10 seconds. So instead, I'm going to see you guys in about 3 to 4 minutes. See you in a moment, when I remember where the right buttons are. There we go. Right, welcome back. So before we go and explain how this new game works, top 10, I think you'll probably be able to work it out quite easily. One, because the instructions are there up on the screen, and two, because it's not a particularly unique idea. Jonathan asked over on YouTube, just as well as heading into the break, if you're seeing out a game, why not play for set pieces as well? A very, very fine suggestion. Generally speaking, I like to leave myself a little bit of leeway to go even more defensive if needs be. So if I can, I will try, when I go attacking, I try and save the directness of passing so that I can go just that little step more if I want to. Similarly with going defensive, I keep back things like play with set pieces, and I keep counter attack on, because then if they concede and we really need to go tight, I've just got a couple of extra levers available to me. I'm always scared that if I do everything, I then have nowhere further to go. Whether that's reasonable or not is questionable. So Zenergy says the Premier League will issue disciplinary charges tomorrow against any clubs who have broken financial rules for the 21 to 24 reporting period. The rumour is an 8-point deduction for Liverpool, 6 points for Man United and Aston Villa, and less for a couple of other teams. Interesting. That will shake things up a little bit, won't it? Right, let's have a look here at this game now. So top 10, you're going to be given criteria for a top 10 list. Your job is very, very simple. You will chuck into chat your guesses for players that are in the top 10. Nice and simple. It's the same as Missing 11 in that it's all powered by chat. You don't need to get the case right. You don't need to get accents right. But if you do get those things right, that'll be fine. Spelling does need to be correct. Perfect timing as well there, Real Betters. So you only need the surname of a player as long as that surname is unique within the list. So for example, if we had a list of Manchester United fullbacks in the 90s, you would need to put Phil Neville to get Phil Neville, and you need to put Gary Neville for Gary Neville. If you put just Neville alone, then that wouldn't pick up. However, for Dennis Irwin, you'd only need to put Irwin. Now, obviously, that's not going to be the connection that we have here. Unfortunately, you can keep on guessing that, but that's not going to help at all. So in a moment, I'm going to reveal what the criteria is. And then it's a case of just manically guessing. Right, so here we go. In a few moments, we are looking for most capped Danish players. Most capped Danish players, the top 10. And so Alt Farby, right off the mark, comes in with Christian Eriksen, who has 140 caps. Crodmo has gone for Schmeichel. Real Batisto's going to get the point because they said Peter Schmeichel, because as someone has correctly identified, Kasper Schmeichel is also in that list. Good that you asked just in time, eh? So Michael Laudrup is in there indeed. Brian Laudrup is not. Someone's picked up on Simon Kjaer as well. John Dahl Thomason, Thomas Helveg, Morten Olsen. Whoever came up with Morten Olsen? Crodmo, wonderful guess there. I think he's the only player whose career is pre-2000s, like the entirety of his career was pre-2000. So we've got just 2 players left. Is it Jesper Grønkjær? It's not Jesper Grønkjær. It is, however, Dennis Rommedahl. Dennis Remedal. Dennis Remedal is a player that we've all heard of, right? So can we get the very last player? We've got guesses coming in for Sorensen. Someone has said Martin Jorgensen, though. It is indeed Martin Jorgensen. Marvellous work. So there's only 38 games that separate the top 10. Christian Eriksen with 140, Simon Kjaer with 132, Peter Schmeichel's 129, Dennis Rommedahl has 126, John Dahl Thomason with 112, Kasper Schmeichel with 111, Thomas Helveg played 108, Michael Laudrup 104, Morten Olsen and Martin Jorgensen both played 102 games. Well done, people. Well done indeed. Some fabulous work. Made absolutely light work of that. So Will Bettis says, I got one, let's go. Will Bettis, you got 2, didn't you? I think you got both the Schmeichels in there. Beautiful stuff. Right, let's head on back over to the game. So again, I welcome any feedback on that as well. Trying something a little bit different. I think that I hope that it's quite nice that we can have a couple of these spam things into chat ones, others which are kind of a little bit more quiz based, like the guess the players. So we have 3 more redeems today, and those 3 redeems are all going to be normal games. So that's going to be guess the player, only connect, and missing 11. So yeah, there we go. Right, whilst we're on the break, I hit spacebar a handful of times, and we got offered a job interview from Udent, and we said no. Naturally, we can't be looking to leave the club before the Champions League debut. Like that's such a big and exciting thing. However, if we go on and win the league again this season, maybe we need to start thinking about what would be the logical next step for us. And somewhere like Denmark or Sweden would probably make sense. We did get an offer whilst offline, whilst the stream wasn't going, from Pek Zwolle in Netherlands. I don't feel like that's a logical move for us. Like, I can't think of many managers that have gone from Finland to Netherlands. It's like a bit of a step too far, potentially. But Denmark or Sweden, or maybe even Scotland, we could follow in the footsteps of Jimmy Thielen. Yeah, something a little bit more like that might be plausible. So Zenergy says that Schmeichel's ruling the roost as father and son, 240 games between them. Can't see that being beaten ever. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Right, let's talk about the trials that I offered out whilst I was offline as well. So we have a transfer window opening shortly. So I thought I'd have a look at some Finnish players who were free transfers. Albion Ademi is Albanian, but he's also got Finnish nationality. More importantly, he played for Mariehamn back in the 2020 season, scored 14 goals in 22 games. We played him in a friendly, and he was a little bit underwhelming. Didn't complete a single dribble as a winger, and he wants mega money, so we're not interested in that. And then there's Anton Popovic, who I was hoping that maybe he'd replace Abu Bawa. Abu Bawa's been absolutely fine, but he's on loan, so it's only a short-term thing. But he can't tackle. He's a little bit slow as well. At 30, just not really what we're looking for. But, you know, thought it'd just be worth keeping an eye on them. We'll let their trials end. Right, fitness tests there. We're into the game. It's an away game against Ekenas next. I've made one change. That's Dahlstrom coming in for Diane. So Diane's on the bench. Kuitinen's okay. He's not. They're just on fitness tests rather than still injured. And I did in the break rename Atli Manny to Clement. So there we go. Unfortunately, because he's not Finnish and we have those restrictions. Actually, we can, can't we? We can have him on the bench for this. Yeah, we can. The manager is unhappy that he's been played at left back quite a bit. So I have a feeling that once the transfer window opens, they're going to recall him. That's been our experience in previous seasons so far. So I have a feeling he's not going to be here very long, unfortunately. So DM Basis has really enjoyed today's games. Marvellous. Crudmo says, yep, that's a good game too. Crudmo signs off on it. Marvellous. So Brian Laudrup, only 82 games. I'm surprised. It's crazy, isn't it? Crazy. So somebody says, especially considering he's the better Laudrup too. I wonder why the Rangers fan might be saying that. Is there any particular reason? Right, let's see. We will stick with the if you carry on, and this time we're going to say we want them to do good things. And let's head on in, and hopefully we can get a good result here. I think we stuttered to a win earlier in the season against Ekenas. I think maybe we went 1-0 down and had to come back. Not 100% certain. So Matt says not building Finland then. I mean, we've got to see what happens. Ultimately, look at the narrative that comes through. What would probably make most sense? I think that it wouldn't be out of the realm of interest. Here's Ristad. from the corner. No one's going to challenge him. Rishtad off the inside of the post. Can they get it second time? It's blocked. It's blocked by Fofana, by their own player. We got lucky. We've got lucky off the opening moments. Let's tell the guys to focus. So, yeah, I mean, I think that if we start getting job offers from bigger leagues, it would probably make sense that in that situation we would. But who knows? Who knows what happens? We've had those job interview offers so far. Come the winter, we might not get those offers. So, as you can see, Satari, can he do something here? Savalainen, saved by Hansen. Satari just couldn't get the ball out of his feet and turn for the chance. Yeah, so it might be that we don't get any job offers, and I'm not that keen on making moves during the season, as you can see. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Dan Baser says you thought that Thielen was good earlier this season. It has been a little bit of a regression, hasn't it? Bless them. So Jonathan Edwards says, couldn't remember. He's the first one that came to mind. That's fair. So you're going for Carew for your Carew guess. It's perfectly reasonable. It doesn't matter if he's Norwegian or not. So how can he be so disrespectful to movie actor John Carew? Movie actor and convicted felon John Carew? Here's Yakub. Sends it to Satari. Blocked by Ala Iso. Lovely, lovely defending there. But can we keep the pressure on? Karkinen's shot takes a weird deflection, hits the post. That would have been a horrible, horrible goal for Ekenas to concede. So let's just demand a little bit more going into these final 10 minutes or so. Malandama with the throw. Back to Castro. Back out to Malandama. Inside again. Ekenas doing pretty well to hang on in here. They've certainly been more resilient this season than they have in previous ones, but that's an error. Here's Yakub. Yakub is tackled. Sutari, though, has the angle. Just can't wrap his foot around it enough. That's a couple of times that we might have got away with something there. Good save from Snot. Good save. No idea what you're talking about, sir. Absolutely no biases there whatsoever, DMB. So Carl Daniel, fucking hell, most nerve-wracking Champions League final I've experienced. 1-0. Your newly subbed on ball-winning midfielder takes a red in the 74th minute. Mukoko makes it 1-1 in the 88th, and the most typical cross over the top to a marauding wing-back who crosses for a tap-in. My first star boy, who's become third, fourth choice striker, pops and scores in the 100th and 118th minute, playing on his own as a deep-lying forward. Congratulations, Carl. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful. Yeah, I think we need to be better than that. We've not had as much of the ball, so I don't like what I've seen. We're going to take Be More Expressive off in this situation. Karkinen's been okay in recent games, but let's see if... In fact, we'll go to the 4-4-2. We've got the Fartuna, the finger on. Let's try and be a little bit more aggressive in the final third. We're not going to try and be as expressive, so let's make sure that we're actually getting the ball forwards. Yeah, a bit more basic football in the second half. Now, Stavitsky sends the cross into Yakub at the far post. Can't get there. Here's the finger. Plays it all the way back to Bawa. And that wasn't going to be a highlight. That is a shame. Jonathan Edwards hopes that Carew's acting is better than his football. Absolutely not. How dare you say, oh, what a finish from Soderback. John Carew is a legend, as is Soderback. A beautiful finish for Ekenas. Malandama with the throw. Here's Furtado. Plays it inside. Soderback takes a touch. Curls it right into the top corner. In off the post. Beautiful stuff. Not what we wanted, but it's a very, very nice goal. Alright, time to demand a little bit more from these guys. I think we're going to be bringing on Lundberg shortly so that we've got our second big man up front. Right, here we go. Sending it long, aiming for Sitari. We can't quite make it stick. But we do have the ball still. In deep positions, Kumecho finds Dahlstrom. Dahlstrom plays it to the finger. Why does he go back rather than outside to Enquist? Here is Enquist now. Enquist going to send the cross in. Sitari's got too much to do there, but does manage to force a save out of Hansen. We've got a corner. Enquist will take the corner. He swings it in, middle of the pitch. It's middle of the pitch, middle of the goal. It's headed clear. So Nemo Toad reckons that we've got to dominate Finland first and then develop the nation. I think that as I've said before, I'm very much in favour of the game dictating the narrative. And when I think about it, there are very few examples in world football of managers performing well in a smaller nation and then staying there. If they get the opportunity to move to bigger leagues, they tend to do so. So if that's what the narrative serves up, that's what we'll end up doing. Right, Yakub is going to come off. And he will be replaced by Lundberg as a poacher. Going to push the tempo up. Let's get the ball into them a little bit quicker. Let's make Bauer an anchor rather than a halfback. Let's not drop into that 3-1 shape. Let's see if that helps us move the ball forwards a little bit more. Ristad with the free kick. Ala Isso at the far post. Can't get there. Lundberg's first. Lundberg carries away. Chance to break here. Can we do something? Why on earth was whoever that was running alongside him? Here's Dahlstrom. What a wank shot that was. What a wank shot indeed. Right, Snore into Reitinen. Here's Dahlstrom. Play it in, like you've got the angle there. There we go. Sitari. Stavitsky gets past his man. Stavitsky, send the cross in. It's a penalty? It's not a penalty. It's a chance perhaps for Ekenas to counter themselves. Here's Soderback. Soderback plays it forward to Fafana. Back to Rogic. Lundberg steps in. Sitari takes it first time. It's a great save from Hansen. Sitari took it with his weaker foot. I thought it was going to be a poor effort. It was a good save though. Engqvist to take the corner. Sends it in flat. Headed away by Malandama. Isn't Fortuna just shitty fingers? He is indeed. Here is shitty fingers. His cross is gathered by Hansen. Right, so here's Ala Isso. Plays it to Antunes, into Lindholm. Söderback. Close, force him back all the way to Ala Isso. There's been a few opportunities this half that have been pretty significant that we haven't taken. Here's Furtado. Furtado skips away from his man. His shot. Oh, Snore didn't dive for it. Why didn't Snore dive for it? So time to push ourselves up a little bit higher. Actually, no, we'll keep him as inverted winger. We're going to make you a Segundo Volante. We are chasing this game now. We are very, very much chasing. And that means, I think we bring off Bauer. We bring on Diane. I think Stavitsky hasn't had a great half, so on comes Rockman. Rockman is going to be the player in that regard. We're not going to increase the mentality because that has often not resulted in anything for us. So Johnny Trotter was listening to some Screaming Mechanical Brain song previews. Technically, it's all one word. Now is not the time for pedantry. Finger forces a save out of Hansen. Right, Sod back, trying to make a pun. What did Crobo say? That was an eccentric deflection. It was indeed. His football career wasn't his only crime. Didn't realise. Not at all. John Carew has had a very, very interesting post-playing career. Lookmar says, I would have loved your manager to become someone who exclusively manages clubs who represented a minority in their country. Swedes in Finland, Basque in Spain. Call them the Separatist as a nickname. Perhaps we can head to, maybe one of the Catalan clubs. I know how to say free Catalonia, so that'll do. Walloons in Flanders, exactly. Maybe that could be something we go with. Engqvist to Dahlstrom. Engqvist to Diane. Lundberg's shot is deflected. Ekenas are doing a good job here defending. We do need... let's just fire them up into the last 10 minutes. Another corner claimed by Hansen. Looks like this might not be our match. Hansen rolls it out. Not going to be a highlight. We've done okay. These things happen, don't they? Our remaining substitutions are defenders. So let's bring Clement on there, push him up into that role there. We're now going to say, you're the target forward, you're the poacher. You're the inside forward that comes underneath the target forward. You send the cross in there. Dahlstrom Yeah, that'll have to do, I reckon. Can we get anything in the last 5 minutes? So we could have English and Scotland. I could manage Berwick Rovers, indeed. Right, Savalainen finds the finger. Finger passes outside the box in the last 5 minutes as we're desperately searching a goal, because that's what a player would do in that situation. Kemicho into Diane. Diane finds Clement out wide. Attlee sends the cross in. There we go. Arvid Lundberg. You know what that means.
He's the man in the box. Arvid Lundberg.
Right, we're keeping the pressure on. We're not changing anything. Let's see if we can get a winner here. That would give us a nice boost. A late turnaround. Reitinen into Dahlstrom. Dahlstrom finds Clement out wide. Here's Rockman. We're playing it back. I criticise the finger for playing it back. It's Sutari. It's offside. It's offside. I think that's the finger who's been penalised. We're not going to see a replay. Oh, that would have been nice. That would have been nice. But oh well. Into the last 2 minutes of injury time. Can we get anything? We've got a corner with just 15 seconds remaining. The finger stands over it. Can the finger whip up something magic here? Kemicho at the far post. His header is over. So we have some arguments going on. Does it sound like Haaland in the mud? Crodmo doesn't think it does. Lukmano Pants is adamant it does. It's all over for Sad Musterman. Taxi for Musterman. P45 time for Musterman, etc. We pulled it back. We can feel like, again, I can't complain too much. Yes, we should have won based on the chances, but if we don't score those goals, that's our fault. We should have won that match. That's ultimately the way we have to be. So Felipe on YouTube, welcome in, my dude. I hope you're doing well. It does work. The commands do work over on YouTube. Things like emotes though won't, I'm afraid. Right, so we've got 8 points between us and Interturku. Interturku have a game in hand. It's probably not the ideal result though to have before our first game against Karabakh. So we haven't registered to the squads yet. We haven't had that option. That looked quite scary for a moment going to that screen, but we'll be all right. So the Kvez says it's fair to say that Kjetil Knutsen in the Norwegian club Bodo Glimt has stayed way longer than what is expected, and because of their success, Eliteserien has an easier way to European competitions, which is practically build a nation. I mean, you could certainly argue that in some respects. I think that it's not really on the scale that people would describe as build a nation. I would personally say, but that's open to interpretation. So Outfarby wants to know, will Friday's version of Top 10 be as bizarre as only Connect? Most goals scored on a Thursday evening while wearing red shoes. It might be now. No, I expect that like Guess the Player, Top 10 is probably not going to be all that obscure. But only Connect might be the only one that goes a little bit on the abstract side. Unless that's mainly because I'm not clever enough to make Top 10 particularly abstract. That, of course, could change with time, so who knows? Right, Holofab says he's with Lukmano Pants. It sounds like Haaland in the mud. Finally, a reasonable voice in this chat. I mean, sure, we'll go with it. We'll go with that. So we're blaming it on Crodmo's audio device now. So which bit is it that sounds like Haaland in the mud? He's the man in the box. Haaland. Or the bit that's Harvard Lundberg. I mean, like, my singing isn't good, so I can get that completely, but yeah, there we go. So El Norby reckons we're going to beat Karabakh, otherwise we'll drop to the Conference League qualifiers. Indeed. If we've got a route into Europe either way, which is really, really good. It's not the end of the world if we don't win this tie. We would like to. We have no players trained by Mariehamn. So Biringo comes out, but we do have a squad of 22, so that's not really a concern. Beautiful. Obviously, we do have players trained by Mariehamn. I'm surprised that someone... So there's this really weird thing, right? I'm sure this has got to be a data issue. Because someone like Emmanuel Chukwuemeka Kereke, he's 23 years old. He's been at the club now for 4 years. No history before that. So I don't know where he was beforehand. I guess that there might be some players that have been but weren't recognised as such. But it doesn't matter. We've got enough players to make it through into the competition. It's the Arvid Lundberg bit that is Haaland in the mud. RJ's just Haaland is very much RJ even is very much agreeing. So El Norby says it's the man in the box bit is Haaland in the mud. You guessed. Crudmo's going for the Arvid Lundberg. Right, let's play the soundbite and the whole class will listen and report back. Right, okay. There we go. Which bit, guys, sounds like Haaland in the mud? That's Haaland, Erling Haaland in the mud.
He's the man in the box.
Right, the latter I can hear it. Let's pop this in then for a poll. New poll. What is it? Arvid Lundberg. Haaland in the mud. I'm pretty certain that everyone's going to vote for Haaland in the mud here. But here we go. There's a vote. We can settle it once and for all. Look, see, I'm not crazy. I mean, I think you are crazy. But then, you know, there's also probably going to be a language thing as well. I imagine that because I know exactly what I'm saying and I'm thinking about it from the essence of knowing what I'm saying, I won't see it. And same with Crudmo. I mean, the second bit, I guess, but only if you're slightly deaf or maybe just a bit weird, says Energy. So Johnny Trotter says, with pronunciation of Haaland, maybe. So Orvid, it's the second bit, but I wouldn't really say it sounds a lot like it. So yeah, I think that the English are hearing Arvid Lundberg. Everyone else is hearing Haaland in the mud, which perhaps suggests that the English are wrong. The English are evidently very, very wrong. Right, here we go. This is the moment. Are we going to make any changes to the starting lineup? I don't think we are. Samu Seek is still quite a way away. That means that Selim Snab... Oh no, he's not registered. Ah well, we're going to put Lofgren in, and where's one of those young lads? Okay, Mohammed is too old, so Stefan Blad can come into the lineup there. I'm bringing Diane back into the starting lineup there. I think we're good to go. Can I... Right, desktop audio needs to come on for a moment. Just for a moment. Let's turn that on to pause. Let's head on in. Oh. Yeah, 46 will do. Let's head to the game. So will we be playing the Champions League theme? Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's go with the media stuff. I know that players like that. Say we've got faith. Here we go, guys. I don't know why I'm putting my hand on my heart. Oh, it's beautiful. It is so beautiful. So, Arminio, welcome in, my dude. How unrealistic is your save? How does Mariehamn get into the Champions League within 3 seasons? This is the first qualifying round, Arminio. So there is always a Finnish team that plays in the first round of the Champions League qualifiers. Here's your Jakub. Can't quite get by Passiev. An early goal would have been a nice start. It's not the champions. It's not the champions yet. Le Grande et l'Equipe. Anybody else suddenly fancy a Heineken? Never. We're gonna win the fucking league. We're gonna win the fucking Champions League with a header on like that. Jakub is in behind. Jakub to make it 1-0. It's a great save from Farid. Makes himself large. Manages to stop the chance. Now, Zenergy Mashups wants Stefan Blood to be nicknamed Ali G. I'll be honest, I don't think Stefan Blood is ever going to make it into the first team. So we can probably give him a nickname. It's probably not going to be here for long. Sadly. So legit question: do they play it in preliminary rounds? A very good question. I don't know. So Kukasa says it's strictly forbidden. There we go. We're going to enjoy the moment nonetheless. Here's Karkinen. Karkinen is taking a deflection. It's an own goal from Kawa. Kawa Hassan. I'm not going to be able to pronounce that. Hassanzada, maybe. It's a cruel blow for Karabag, but we're not complaining. Enquist played in Karkinen. He tries to cross it. It comes off Kawa. Nestles just inside the post, and we're 1-0 up, lads. We're 1-0 up. The Kvares had to wipe tears away after hearing the themes. I'm having to wipe tears away on us taking the lead. Holifab says that Heineken really is one of the worst beers in the Netherlands. That's fair. Look, I'm not a beer drinker anyway. I'm not massive on lager, but Heineken, I don't know. Sutawi, great save. Like, the mouthfeel, just really, yeah. So Adam's not much of a drinker either. Just the music makes you feel something. Right, Jakub, here's Bawa. Bawa can't get the ball out of his feet, and Karabag managed to clear. We played well so far. We're starting in a very good spot. Quadmo is off to play football. Good luck, Quadmo. I hope it all goes well. See you tomorrow, my dude. So Holifab hopes that Quadmo doesn't get injured. I hope for everyone playing against Quadmo that he gets just a minor injury, one that stops him from running around all the bloody time. No one should be running that much in their 40s. It's disgraceful. Right, Satawi plays it to Karkinen. Karkinen, who's responsible really for the first goal, finds Stavitsky. Stavitsky's cross takes a deflection. That's behind. That could have been a second own goal. So Red App is going to stop everything to watch this match. It's a big moment. I feel like I should be standing. I definitely feel like I should be standing. Just hand us the trophy already, says Out Farby. If only. Here's Karkinen, looking to make it 2-0. Karkinen goes alone off the crossbar. Oh, what a chance. Holofab says even if you aren't a beer drinker, it's really shit. You should never feel like drinking a Heineken. It's the power of advertising though, isn't it? That's, it's not what you want to do. It's what it makes you do. Johnny Trotter goes for a little bit of Born Slippy. Lager, shouting. It's Diane. And there's a shot from Bawa. Optimistic. I don't think Bawa's scored for us yet. He's not known for his goal scoring. But if you see the chance open up, why not give it a hit? Here's Stavitsky, looking to create something. Sends the cross in. Kara gets it clear, but Enquist, his shot's blocked. Another corner. So I did say during the last stream that I might consider taking over set pieces. I looked at the stats. We are joint top for most corner goals in the league. So whilst I feel like we could be taking more of an advantage of them, and that I'm not happy with things like Enquist taking corners when he's not particularly good at them, but doing so because he's left-footed, it just feels a little bit weird that we take over corners whilst we're allegedly doing well from them. So we will sit with that for a while. That's a lovely ball. Karkinen makes it 2-0. Is that offside though? Is that offside? We get some VAR. We haven't had VAR yet. I hate VAR. Robbed. However, at the very least, I now have a use for that. Let's pop that in. There we go. Our first VAR intervention of the save, I believe. Right, Karkinen loses out to Jankovic. Mohamed fires it into Husinov. Husinov, they're looking to build down the right-hand side here. Karabag have been a perennial appearers in the Champions League. A very, very fine side. Well, not necessarily in the Champions League, in Europe. Sometimes I think they end up down in the Conference League or the UEFA Cup, don't they, to be fair. Right, great tackle from Kamecho. Barwa plays it to Karkinen. A chance perhaps for us to break. When we do with Barwa. Barwa plays it into Karkinen. Karkinen steps inside. Karkinen's shot is wide. So, let's see there. Pretty much all big name beers are at most okay, to be honest. That I don't think anyone can disagree with that. So are there any away fans in Baku? That's a fair question. I imagine it would be quite an expensive trip. We can't really tell from the kits, can we? And we can't. I won't be able to. I think I'll be able to see it once the game is over. I don't think I have it set up anywhere in the skin that will show how many away fans are there. We'll just see though. Right, into Diane. Diane pushes forwards. Nice little run from finds Jakub. Stavitsky is over in space. Stavitsky's got to send this in. He does. Jakub. There we go. 7th goal of the season for Antonio Jakub. That's 2-0. Surely we're into the next round. The second qualifying round now. Jakub finds Stavitsky. Well done. Well done here. Low drilled cross. First time strike. Good stuff. Good stuff. Right, so Lukman Hopanta's got some snacks for this match. That's some good thinking. I wish I had some as well. Maybe if the return leg doesn't happen before the break, I can get some snacks to go for the game. Don't like the idea of eating on camera though. Jakub goes round the outside, round the outside, round the outside, feeds Savalainen, and then the cross comes in. Satari at the far post. It's straight at Farid and it's behind for a corner. So in terms of advertisement, Carlsberg is dope. I think they do well as Patrick Reitinen makes it 3-0. Thank you and good night, surely. There we go. Talking of corners, I think that we can do more from them. But there we go. We score from one. Reitinen running from deep. Absolutely thumps it. That's Stavitsky's second assist of the game. Come the hour point, we can now make those changes. That's going to be... Again, we're still trying to get the Finger and Lundberg up to full fitness. I'm also going to bring on Akerake, try and get him a little bit more game time as well. Surely we're safe now. So if you're not a beer drinker, are you a secret lemonade drinker? I don't mind a lemonade. I don't know if there's something, if a secret lemonade is something different as Kumechio makes it 4-0. This is turning into a rout. I'm not even celebrating the 4th goal much. This is quite crazy, really. Reitinen's header off the bar. Kumechio doesn't leap. He just waits. He sees the defender. The defender jumps up. All like there. Kumechio comes. You're like, gosh. Beautiful things. Can Karabag get one back? Here's Mohamed into Kaito. Ibrahim Ili's in space. It's a great block from Kumechio. And we get it clear. And it's okay. So there are 12 away fans, Real Betis. 12 away fans. Crazy. Like that's surely just like 2 families. Maybe they booked a coach to take them over there. So we should be okay. Last couple of changes we'll bring on in a moment. I think it'll be Dahlstrom. It comes off. They managed to get it clear. Here's Savalainen picking the ball up deep. That was a rubbish highlight. So yeah, Dahlstrom we're going to bring on. Going to bring Dahlstrom on for Diane. And we're going to bring Rockman on for Jakub. That should be the last of our... Well, that is the last of the changes. There we go. Right, so Adam, Mustermann turning into Slim Shady there for a moment. Exactly. Round the outside. Jakub goes round the outside. Here's Kaita. Lovely first touch. His shot into the side netting. Take a deflection on the way from Savalainen. So Karabag have had come forwards a little bit in the last few moments. I think we're fine if we concede 1, if we concede 2. We've got to feel like we should be okay. So Karabag I don't know what... Oh, right, use the expletive of your choice. Cow, a bag of dicks. Here we go, Alayev. Good chance, that one. Feed the yak and he will score. Feed any of our players and they will score. Kumetio, Raitanen, Yakub. Beating Karabag in the first round of Champions League qualifying. You'll never sing that. We won't indeed. Right, what happened with this was a rough draw? I know, tell me about it. This is crazy. Genuinely crazy. El Norby reckons we're better than Ferencvaros. And you will win the league stage of some sort. I don't think we'll go that far. I mean, who knows? Once you're in the league stage, we're going to get... If we could get that far, I very strongly doubt we're getting to the Champions League proper. But the way that it's set up, we'd be a 4th seed, and we'd play at least 2 other 4th seed teams. So there's actually, you know, on paper at least, a small chance of us winning games in the group stage of whichever version of European competition we end up in. Which is what I quite like about the new format. Here's Rockman. Can he square it? He doesn't. He shoots. It finds Lundberg. Lundberg goes away from the box. Lundberg just has no confidence at the moment. Oh, Lundberg, take the shot, my man. Take the shot. They got their money's worth. They absolutely did. Those 12 are going to be talking about this game for the rest of their lives. It's literally just the lads from the local pub that have driven there, all in one big bus. Absolutely. Like, you can imagine that there was a conversation at a local pub and like just 12 people went, yep, sure. It'd be almost weird if they didn't travel together. So the wives? What are we going for there, Look Marno Pants? I just see you struggling with the word wives. I do like the double H spelling though. That goes hard. Hi, my name is Musterman. Really doesn't roll from the tongue at all. That is the only reason you'll never find me napping. You'll never find me rapping. It's definitely that and not the fact that I can't rap. Right. That's got to be the game over now. Last 10 seconds. This is going to be a moment for history for IFK Mariehamn and their 12 away fans. Oh, that feels good. That feels good. Set on our way with an own goal by Kara. 3 second half goals, 4-0. Surely that's wrapped up. Surely that is wrapped up.
It's not the statistics! You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Oh, bless you, Adam, you absolute gentleman. That's gift subscriptions to Y Gormy, to the Gaffer Kako, to Red Guitaru, to Masquerade, and to Milner is my goat. What an absolute gentleman you are, Adam. An absolute gentleman. Champions League winners, we're going to sing that. We're going to sing at least Champions League winners, asterisk, 1 game in a round so far. But it all counts. On a technicality, I am more than happy to accept that. Right, did we get the draw? We did get the draw for who we'd meet in the next round as well. Let's see if I do a search for Karabag. So if we beat Karabag, we will play either Breidablik or Floriana in the second qualifying round. Let's have a look at how Breidablik got on. We will play Breidablik in the second round because they won their first game 11-0. Maybe Floriana could come back from that. But that'll be a nice Scandinavian tie for the second round. I think that 1 win means we're guaranteed European football as well, which is rather nice. It's definitely not the needles. Is it a wind tunnel on a balloon? Or the wind tunnels? Musterman will never nap. I will often nap. Very, very often nap. So Lukmar was wondering whether the 12 away fans are the wives of the players, and then started questioning myself on how to spell it. Still not sure. It was the version with the V. W-I-V-E-S. Yes. I mean, that probably is. Like, realistically, if only 12 turn up, it's probably going to be some form of partners or relatives of those involved in the game, you'd think. So, it's not Scandinavian, it's Nordic, corrects me, Jake, the Kvez. I do apologise there. And so, does Iceland count as Scandinavian? The Kvez has answered for me. No, it doesn't. 12-1 next game and go to penalty shootouts. Could you imagine if Floriana pulled that back? So Floriana's badge is fire. Let's have a look. Is it literally fire? Floriana's badge is a little bit boring, isn't it? I mean, Rider Blix is literally fire. It is literally fire. Absolutely. They've got a key player, a lad called John Eisteinsen, who's played 20 minutes this season. So probably not that much of a key player. Now, our next game is home against FC Haka. A game we really, really should be expecting to win against a team in 10th in the league. Vikasliga player development. We have developed 7 players currently playing in the Vikasliga. Not too bad, especially considering we started the game without any reserves or youth teams. So that will be absolutely fine. Let's head on in to the game against Haka as soon as we can. So RJ has redeemed a mini game. Why don't we? Right, we've got transfer window is open. We will play the mini game in a second because we've got a break coming up in about 8 minutes. That'll work out like quite a nice time, and should line up perfectly, rather than being in this weird situation where we go into the game probably having to pause halfway through. I'm not going to change. We've got plenty of money. We don't need to change the expectations there. So let's head on in and play a round of Guess the Player. So for those who haven't been in one of these streams before, let me explain how this works. You're going to see four pictures of a player's snapshot in FM24, one after the other. You're going to see the positions they play, like their attributes and traits, their scouting report, and their career history. Your job is to guess who that player is as early as possible. The earlier you guess, the more points you get, and those points put you on that lovely little leaderboard that's appearing just below there. Nice and simple. One thing to be mindful of is that this is FM24's default database, so a player that might have moved in real life over the summer is going to still be at their original club. Just something to keep in mind. Let's head on over to the first clue and see what we've got. So Lukmar No Pants has come in with an early guess. He's gone for Michael Ballack. I do love the anachronistic guesses. We have a right-footed inside forward, equally good as a winger. They're an inverted winger, an advanced playmaker, could be a Raumdeuter or Trequartista. Definitely not a wide target forward. There are only 2 stars as a wide target forward. So we do have some proper guesses coming in now. We've got Pedro Gonçalves, we've got Garnacho, we've got Lamine Yamal, Eze Abde, Nico Williams, Cody Gakpo, Amad Diallo, Jadon Sancho. They're all very, very fine guesses. Some guesses are better than others, I'll be honest, because there are a few of your guesses so far have been left-footed players, whereas this is definitely a right-footed player. So just bear that in mind. Let's see if their attributes will help at all. So Carl Daniels also suggested Omar Mamouche, fine guess, as has been guessed for Elise or Gnabry. Both fine guesses. They're not right, unfortunately, but you'll probably be convinced that maybe they are, because someone like Gnabry is definitely very quick. And here we have a player with 17 acceleration and 18 agility. They're also great determination and great vision. And so guesses we've got coming in perhaps for Luis Diaz or Bradley Barcola or Wilfried Zaha. All very, very fine guesses as well. We're not quite right there. So Look Mano Pants is right to notice that they've only got 12 pace with 17 acceleration. They're quick in very short bursts, but not necessarily high top speed. They also aren't necessarily the greatest dribbler. Just a 14 for dribbling, just a 12 for passing, but tries killer balls often. So El Norby has guessed that it might be Mbappe. The Kvez has gone for Coutinho as well. Both very good guesses. We're not right there though. Is it Munayan? It's not Munayan. It's not Kvaradonna or Savinho either. Could it be Pulisic? Pulisic is a player who's definitely quick off the mark, but it's not Pulisic. It's unfortunately not Nicholas Raskin either. Let's find out what league the player plays in. I'm pretty certain that you're going to get it from this moment here. So RJ, just before we changed over the slide, went for Trossard. It won't be Trossard, unfortunately. We've got a leading Sport Toto Super League player. And so, Kukasa, has gone for Mertens. Kvez has gone for Arda Güler. Redap has gone for Actor. Who is Actor? Redap. Holofab's gone for Kamir. Barbie has gone for Pepe. Redap has gone for Actor Koglu. And you see, now I had to double check on that because I was pretty certain that who he was going for was Actor Koglu, but I couldn't really just take that on its own on merit. There might have been an actor, and it is an important distinction because it is, of course, going to be the glorious Kerem Actor Koglu, an absolute beast of a player in FM. Like I haven't seen a situation where he doesn't tear it up. Absolutely incredible player. Fabulous 2 points going your way, Redap. El Norby got there as well just a few moments after. The Quez suggested Quaresma, Akgun, Yilmaz, all some fantastic guesses in there. Unfortunately, Adam, you did go away at the wrong time. Just as we'd gone through a game of Guess the Player, Kerem Actor Koglu. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Right, let's head on over. Let's make sure I press the right button. We've got, what I'll do then, is we've still got like a minute or so to go until the next break. So I'll bring that forwards. And we will see you back in about 3 or 4 minutes for our next game against FC Hacker. See you guys in a moment. Right, and we're back. Zenergy, I hope you feel better soon, my dude. Have a lovely, lovely evening. Thank you very much for dropping by. I'm going to speak on Lookmar No Pants. I think he was calling you babe or baby, and it was all terms of affection there. So Holofab claims that by Kamir he actually meant Karim, and that means that he was almost right. A fine claim. I will let you make that claim. Here we go. We're going to be pretty much straight into the game against FC Hacker. We have seen that HJK have just won their game, so they're now within 3 points of us. A win here obviously would then give us a 6-point buffer once we've now played the same amount of games. We have so is it? We've got 8 games left, and 5 of them are at home in the league. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So hopefully we can pull out enough of a gap before the league splits in 2. By the way, Tiny Pardus, thank you very much for the follow. I hope you're doing well. Thank you very much. If you're comfortable chatting, let us know where you're from or who you support, maybe even who you're playing with in FM. Love to hear from you, but absolutely no obligation to do so whatsoever. Right, so let's make a couple of changes. We're going to bring we're going to be home, so we're going with a Dalsham Diane partnership in midfield, I think. Let's drop these players all from the bench. Let's put Queetonen back on there. Lundberg, not quite at fitness there. Stavitsky had a pretty decent game last time out. We're going to bring, the finger's still not quite match fit, but we've been bringing him on for 30 minutes here, 45 minutes there, and he's not been improving a great amount. So let's get him some starts and try and properly get him up to pace there. Yes, I think. Oh, actually, yeah, we've got Be More Expressive on. Let's work with that as the starting point. So Lookmar looked up our Icelandic opponents on Transfer Market, and they are one of the biggest teams in Iceland, and their most expensive player is worth 400k. So yeah, Breidablik are actually, I do know a little bit about them because that's where Kristi Nockvik Linsen came from. So Ajax signed Linsen from Breidablik. So they've got a pretty decent track record with having some decent players in the past. They would be a difficult opponent, absolutely a difficult opponent to deal with. Right, we're going to say we expect to win, and I want a good performance from everyone. Let's put some distance between us and the rest of the league now. Zenergy thought he was being called baby, and on that note, you're definitely running away. Lester is here. Good morning, sir. I see a lot of green wins, so I'm expecting a loss here now I'm on. Well, right, Lester, you know, at 1, lovely to see you in. I hope you're doing well. Fine, early morning. Now, we've already blamed you for the end of our unbeaten season last year, and we are currently still unbeaten in the league. So if we do lose this game, I am going to blame you. 100%, I'm afraid. You have officially called Zen for baby now. That is canon. Yep. There is a tryst between Lookmar and Zenergy, and we're going to run with it. The Stu Mac is in. Welcome in, my dude. So you're a Motherwell supporter. Not too many of you. I think you are definitely the first Motherwell supporter we've had in here. We've had a little bit of Scottish representation in the chat, but not much for Motherwell, that's for sure. So are you from that area, or that was a decent chance. Are you from the area, or is there like some crazy story as to why you support Motherwell? Enquist with the corners, going to swing it in. That's a run from deep from Sutari, and a header that was so far off target, it's quite difficult to explain. And Tiny Pardus is from London, and you support Arsenal. How do you feel after the last couple of results? Been a tricky week for you guys. Holifab suggests that it's always Crudmo's fault, even if he's not here. I can get on board with that for sure. Right, we've not had that much of the ball, so let's take Be More Expressive off. Let's just try and get a bit more control, and let's fire these guys up. We have had a handful of half chances. Right, Hacker, get the ball clear. Kamecho heads it to Diane. Diane back inside to Cometio. No pressure. Can just take his time. Finds Reisen. Dahlstrom. There's Jakub with some space. He plays the ball to Satari. Oh, what a finish from Oni Satari. That's his 16th goal of the season. 16th goal of the season. Hashtag Crudmo out. Absolutely. FMGNG, especially when he's not here. It's his fault. So previously it was his fault for turning up and us then losing. Now when he's gone, my word. So Stu Max, his mum's family is from there. So your uncle took me to games when you were younger, and it's been you since. Fair enough. That's as properly as good a reason as any to support them. Tiny Parda says the last few results have been miserable. Everyone in the last week is playing like they'll be executed if they score. There was some pretty horrendous finishing in the last couple of games. It is quite crazy how Havertz, bless him, has missed some of those chances. Jakub's got to make it 2-0 from here. Oh, he didn't. No conviction in that strike. Just put your foot through it, lad. Put your foot through it. That should have been 2-0. Right, here's the finger. He plays it across to Stavitsky. Play the ball down the line. No, he doesn't. Stavitsky goes it alone. He's going to not cross it. Finds Dahlstrom. Here's Savalainen. Savalainen takes his time. Chance goes. Now Kilo can break for Hacker. Plays it out to Rocker. We're okay. Into the last 10 minutes. I'm going to demand more. I would really like us to put ourselves out of sight if we possibly could. But it's going to be a highlight starting with a throw-in for Hacker. Kilo spreads it out wide to Rocker. Rocker taking on Savalainen. Rocker creates the space to cross. Enquist is able to clear, but it's only as far as Batraoe. Kilo from distance, just wide. I said, did it take a deflection? Didn't look like Snore got anything on that, so it must have taken a deflection its way through. We clear our lines. Right, there's still a few moments left in the half here. Here's Stavitsky out on the right, back to Savalainen. Tries to get the cross and it's cut out, but Jakub steals in. Jakub takes aim with his left foot. It ricochets. Nothing much happening there. Dunk Holder, welcome in over on YouTube. Crazy, you've used your skins on FM for a few cycles. Didn't know you streamed. I do indeed now, Donk. So yes, we have the videos over on YouTube, and as of October this year, I started streaming as well. So is Lundberg back up now to the new fella up front? Lestri, like at the moment, Honest Satari can't stop scoring. Now in a game like this, I think Jakub's doing okay, but we do play two up top on occasions. So Lundberg has been injured. We need to get him up to match fitness. So Satari's in form, but I would like to see this setup a little bit more in games coming up. And we're going to do this at half time because I think we're doing okay. We could do with a bit more of a box presence and trying to get as many minutes into selects as possible. Right, RJ's got to head off. Thank you very much for popping by, my dude. I hope you have a lovely evening. Good. He played you guys around, as we call it. He fucked around and he's been found out. That's one way of putting it. That's definitely one way of putting it. Lundberger's still a great player. I'm glad that we've got him. But he's not had his shooting boots. I think he's scored less than half his XG this season, which is a bit of a shame. Right, can this be the game? Well, he did score though, the equaliser in our last league game. So, you know, that might mean he's not quite as badly under his XG. Dahlstrom steps in, wins the ball back. We've got a corner. It's going to be Enquist to take once again. He swings it into the middle of the post. Lundberg can't get there. Freiberg gets it clear. Dahlstrom, though, gathers. We haven't really seen a highlight from this, so surely something's going to come of this. Stavitsky to Savalainen. Savalainen creates some space. Can he whip it in? No. No, he can't. Brighton to Dahlstrom. Dahlstrom's the one who sends it in. There's... Okay. The finger can't quite get enough on it to get it across the box. Not necessarily the player I would have targeted. Here's Enquist, though, from the free kick. Enquist forces the save out of Alberto Sanchez. It's been a good start to the second half. Lundberg is apparently struggling a little. The finger will take the corner even. Swung in, Enquist gathers. Enquist to the finger with a shot. It's another good save from Alberto Sanchez. It's another corner. Right, the finger once again. Is this going to be another game where we create a lot of opportunities as Cometio forces a third Great save out of Alberto Sanchez. Are we going to regret not taking our chances? The finger, 4th corner in a row. This time it's claimed by the keeper, and that's surely the end of that spell of highlights. It is indeed. We do need to take these chances. And here comes Hacker now. Reese to Kilo, edge of the area. Kilo shoots, not far wide. Snore did not even move. Right, an hour gone now. Lundberg comes deep for the throw, plays it into Wrighton. Diane back to Camacho. Can we just coax them out of their defensive shape? We can a little bit. Savaline's going to push forward. He's got to play it down the line, surely. Here's Stavitsky. Steps inside, creates the space for the cross. Finger is the one with the header once again. Could we perhaps consider sending crosses in to our players that aren't short wingers? Centre, please. Let's just make a little change there in that regard. Savalainen. Back to Wrighton. Very, very slow pace on these passes right now. That feels like it could be dangerous. But we've managed to move it forwards. Here's Stavitsky. Will he cross it into the right area this time? Sutari gets up to head it. That's the kind of player that should be the target for headers. So we're, that's better, I suppose. Enqvist looks tired. The finger is tired. They're about to come off, I think. Stavitsky back to Wrighton and Dahlstrom. Diane from distance. It's a horrible, horrible deflection. And that's 2-0. Mohamed Diane. Is that his first goal of the season for us? It might be his first goal of his career for us. Look, we should have scored. We should have scored before now, so I will take it. Maybe just was on target for it to count as Diane's goal. He's certainly going to take the credit for it. So we are bringing off, pause the finger. That means that Karkinen will come on, bringing off Enqvist, which means that Kuitinen's coming on. Yeah, Kuitinen's coming on. Savalainen will move out to the left. And I think we're going to bring on Ikerike. He's going to replace Dahlstrom. Diane can play in the slightly more advanced position as we look to see the game out, potentially. Stavitsky is rather disappointing this season, in your opinion. I think he's done okay. I think he's got to be on for around 9 or so assists so far this year, I think. But with Lundberg's disappointing finishing at times, he's kind of been robbed of some assists that he should have. He seems to be doing okay in terms of dribbling and crossing. His shooting has always been bad. But yeah, he's not as good as he was last year, I don't think. Another goal for Mohamed Diane. Indeed. Oh, Levi's off. Thank you very much for popping by. I hope you're doing better. And yeah, see you. Hopefully we're back on tomorrow evening. Same time again, 7 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. That pause is because I can't remember whether it's Greenwich Mean Time or British Summer Time. Now there's a big clue in the words British Summer Time that's talking about summer. But I'm not clever enough to work that out immediately. So how's the Finnish homegrown matchday requirements going? We seem to be okay. I mean, we've had to be a little bit more careful about the players that we're putting on the bench, but it hasn't caused us too much issues as White looks to create some space, curls it just wide of the far post. El Norby says the finger will be the new target man. We do seem to be treating him like a target man, which seems odd in the most polite way of putting it. Yeah, let's have a look at what Stavitsky. So he's only got 0.2 XA in this game, so that's a fair criticism. 0.1 XG. Thank you very much for the hydrate one. So that's a good win for us. That puts us 6 points clear. Yeah, let's have a look at some of the performance data though. Goal difference is looking pretty good. So naturally, we've scored now, I think that's 6 goals from corners this season. So we've got to be aware that Enqvist's numbers are boosted by corners from the left. He's got 9 assists this season. Some of them are going to be set pieces. And we've got the same situation with Stavitsky as well. He's got 8 assists. Some of them are going to be set. Oh, pardon me. I didn't manage to mute in time there. Oops. Some of them will be set pieces as well. But he's a dribbly boy. He's generating opportunities as well. Yeah, I think I'm kind of happy with him in that regards. The finger hasn't been as prolific as last season. Now, he's still coming back from injury, though. So hopefully, once we get him to full fitness, he'll be good for us. Lundberg, 3 goals from 6.14 xG. He's just dropped off a cliff, completely and utterly dropped off a cliff. Gets that, signs a new contract. He thinks he's made easy streak now. Easy streak, easy street now. All right, so training, rest, and then it's the home game against Karabakh. Surely we've got this in the Karabakh. Oh, I do apologise. So Lestry says sometimes you have to rest the finger up. Gets cramps, absolutely. But also, you know, let's face it, the finger is kind of, you know, one of the key things to look after. Reitinen wants to leave at the end of his contract. That's 18 months away. Value's surprisingly low. Wins 82% of his headers, 86% of his tackles. Key part of what we're doing here. If we say this, what do they say? Would like a wage between 700 and 850 a week. That's not too bad. Can we offer him a contract before we go into that meeting? Oh, that's very affordable. Bring that down to 675. Try and push that up to 700,000. It's going to be limited at 525, down to 700. Right, and then I'm just going to not speak to him. Oh, I was hoping that not speaking to him would have let us get away with it. Oh well. Oh well. So what round of UCL qualifiers are we in? We're just in the first round right now, Tiny Pardus. This is our first Champions League campaign. We beat Karabakh 4-0 away from home. So we should feel pretty confident. In terms of our finances, Quan, we currently are 223,000 in debt. But as we know, we're going to get that, you know, a little bit of money in the new year when we get all the sponsorships and stuff like that. So we dropped down below into the red by the end of last season as well. This year round we should have a decent amount of European money as well to bolster that. So I think we should be okay. So Holofab reckons he will sign the deal, as does Kukasa. I suppose we'll find out. Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't, we sell him in the winter. It's not the end of the world, really. We've got Queetonen in waiting. We could potentially gives an opportunity maybe to Lofgren, who's one of our youngsters. I feel like with Kumecho in the squad already, it's not the worst thing if we lose him, even though he has been really, really good for us. Right, Samusik is back. And then on the reserves, there we go. That is Igor Lofgren onto the bench. Right, we made the change there. We're going to bring Lundberg in as well to get him some game time. We're going to bring Akerake in as well. Otherwise, I feel like these guys are doing absolutely fine. Actually, let's give Queetonen. We're going to rest Reitinen, in fact. So I think that's a decent enough lineup. We've not made ourselves weak with those changes. Actually, our last change, we're going to bring Tarkinen on the left, and we're going to give Stavitsky a little bit of a rest too. So we've got a few players not quite match fit, but regarding a 4-0 lead at home, what could go wrong? Right, media stuff, and just head straight in. What a view. What a view that is there. Oh bless. I've jinxed it. He jinxed it. I did jinx it indeed. But that's all right, because I did the like the office look into the camera thing, so that makes it all right. I think. So, do you get some moolah for advancing in the Champions League playoffs? We will get some moolah. More importantly, we will, by winning this tie, I think we're guaranteed to reach the group stages of at least the Conference League now. Well, if we win this tie. So we're going to get moolah for at least 3 rounds. There's Antonio Yakub, barely 6 minutes in. That is surely done and dusted. So we don't pump to Mariehamn when we win games anymore. Sad. I may have just got a little bit carried away after the last one and forgot to do it. We most definitely do Mariehamn when we win games. We might even hold a wiener with this game, as it is at home. So empty stadium and silence all around. It is crazy that there is no one. There we go. The attendance is... We won't find out the attendance until half time. Now, in real life, the Vikrov Holding Arena is just a solitary stand, so technically there wouldn't be people on the other side. Kind of makes sense, right? Maybe. Good to see the crowd coming out to the game. We'll see what the attendance was. We've got... Surely, I hope that there's... I think we sold 1,500 season tickets in our 2,000 capacity stadium, so maybe it's not as bad as it looks. Hey, the stand's not too bad. It's not too bad. Now let me go back to reverse because I don't like seeing the dugout. Right, Engqvist back to Akereke. Plays it to Karkinen. Karkinen's shot blocked. We're alright. Nobody shows up to our Champions League home game. What the fuck, Mario Hose? Where you at? So yeah, I'll be interested to see what the because a 2,000 capacity stadium shouldn't have 4 sides to it. So I do wonder if that's an element in play, or just our fans don't care. The finger down the right finds Savalainen to take aim. Yeah, it's a bit of a limp shot. Where are you? We need. That's our problem, is we don't have Delia Smith as our chairman to encourage people to attend as Yakub heads over. Do you think of approaching Europe League or Conference League instead of going UCL is better for a weak team? Right. Realistically, we get more money the longer that we stay in the Champions League path. Each round, that money is more than it is for the Europa League, for the Conference League. If we reach the group stage of any of those competitions, which we should do if we win this tie, we are probably going to struggle regardless. So the best thing for us is making as much money as possible, which means staying in the Champions League side of the draw as long as we possibly can. Which is, you know, like, I think we could make a good 2 to 3 million out of this run. I think possibly. I think if we get into the Champions League proper, we'd make about 4.5 million. But win this tie, maybe if we're lucky win the next tie, and I think that'll get us about 3 million in total. So they're in the sauna. That's where they are. Quite possibly. Do we have the attendance? 1,735. So yeah, maybe you're right about it being seating capacity only for European games. Whatever it is, those stands that aren't being used must be relatively low capacity. Right, you're doing brilliant. That's marvellous. Finger and Lumber getting fitness. Akereke getting fitness. Queaton getting fitness. We can hold fire for a bit. We'll just, yeah. Maybe around the hour mark, we'll look to make some changes. Respect to the 16 away fans. Well, Karabag have shown us up, to be honest. We only sent 12 away fans to their place. They've managed a whole 16, so they're clearly more hardened, more hardcore fans in Azerbaijan. Right, I have my team, which is weak, and I am thinking to intentionally lose my next qualifying round to go to the Europa League instead. I mean, if you think that your Tiki Press, if you think that your team is going to be competitive in the Europa League, then how much of a difference do you think it's going? Like, if you can be competitive in the Europa League, you've got a better. You probably get better money by just winning those games against the 4th tier teams in the Champions League, right? You get a better reputation from being in the Champions League. You get experience for what you'll be up for in future years in the Champions League as well. So, I mean, you do what you like to do, but I would say that I don't think there's much benefit to like deliberately giving yourselves less earning opportunity. Holofab says, yeah, aim as possible, high as possible for the money and reputation. Holofab said it in a far more concise way than I can. Carabag are clearly a bigger club with their 4 more away fans. Exactly. That counts as 6 goals. I think I disagree. I think it should count as 4 goals. You get 1 goal for each away fan you bring. So currently the score line is 17-16. Right, I think we'll struggle a lot in the Champions League, but just change my mind. I'll go for Champions League. Damn right you'll go for the Champions League. That's the decision. Right, dear bassists, good night all. Go forth and win the fucking Champions League. We're gonna win the fucking Champions League. Thank you very much for popping along, my dude. Lovely, lovely to see you, and have a wonderful, wonderful evening. No, never apologise for your Dutch bluntness, Hollyfab. You wouldn't be allowed to be called Dutch if you weren't blunt. Right, changes we can make. In comes Seek, Rockman, Holmberg to give Savalainen rest, Clement Attlee to give rest on the left flank as well. Karkinen's in fitness, so we'll bring on Basirovic. We'll make all 5 substitutions at once. We're 5-0 up, right? What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Right. Be in it just for the music, as Maeve says. Like, it's worth it. Or is it? Is it? You know, I'm a fan of the Conference League tune. The indie rock R's that make it sound like it's a car advert. Definitely worth it. So you can't win the Champions League against Perez employees, the referees. That makes it even more of a challenge, even more enjoyable when it does come off. So the thing was, says Sticky Press, I'm starting to win the league on a regular basis, and from next season probably will never can get anything else than Champions League. Even better, no team as Rockman. Oh wait, oh no,
Danny Rockman goes for you. Danny Rockman goes for you. Danny Rockman goes for Mariehamn.
Beautiful. We've had so few goals scored by the players that we've got soundboard stuff for that I'd completely forgotten. Right, that makes it 2-0. Or, as we established, 18-16 on aggregate. I think we should be okay from here now. So yeah, I think it's a much better history to have never won any other European competition other than the Champions League. As a Villa fan, who cares about other competitions? We won the European Championships in 1982, and by my definition, that makes us the greatest football team that's ever existed, right? That's what I'm going with anyway. So Holofab says that it's easy to make referees disappear in Mariehamn. Well, I mean, it probably is. With it being an archipelago, you just throw them into the water, right? Very, very easy. Right, can we see out a 6-0 win? It'd be nice to keep another clean sheet potentially. Here's Rockman. Could we also get a goal for Samu Seek, his first senior goal for the club? Not with a header like that. Oh, maybe with a header like that. It looked a little bit weak, but yeah, beat the keeper. So have we ever checked in on how Olawale is doing? Might be a decent way to spend the Champions League money. Adam, I am so scared. We'll do it after the game. We will do it after the game, but I am so scared to check on how Olawale is doing, because if he's not playing, it's going to make me so sad. So sad if he's just being left there to essentially rot. Jankovic's shot saved by Snore. Personally, I'd argue that the Intercities Fairs Cup has to be considered the greatest European competition. Any bias? Like, I'll be open with my bias. Any bias there at all, by any chance? So Supreme Crown, mix them up with my own personal side. Sweden, Finland, they're all the same anyway. Especially Mariehamn, who think they're Swedish. So there we go. There we go. That's a win at home at the Vikloff Holding Arena. Beautiful stuff. I think that's a pretty good start to our European campaign. I think that's a pretty good start to our European campaign. A 6-0 on aggregate victory. Did Floriana manage to pull it back? No, they didn't. We'll be playing against Breidablik in the next round. So that does mean some fixture rearrangements, but we can handle that, right? We can handle that a little bit. So we play into Turku. Then we've got Breidablik, HJK, Breidablik, Ilves, BPS Latte, SJK, TPS. In the Varkasliga, we have that 6-point gap. We do need to be a little bit wary in that regards. Calendar. So we now need to make this 2 games. Why would you put that there? Defensive shadow play attacking there. Possession and tactical. And that needs to be a 2-game week as well. There we go. That isn't any part of our 2-game week plan there. So what's it? Aerial defense, ground defense, chance conversion, chance creation. We don't have a spot really. So the games being on a Tuesday is a little bit crappy. So we're going to pop penalties in on the morning. That's our only. And no, we'll chuck penalties in the afternoon there. And we'll carry on with the tactical in that spot there. So I think, yeah, that should be okay. Let's just check. Not that one. Competitions, Champions League rules. So we're in the second qualifying path. If we lose this, we end up in the Europa League, Champions League qualifying 3rd round. Europa League, Champions Path 3rd qualifying round. Winners qualify for the playoff. So if we lose the next 2 games, we get dumped out, I think. That for some reason that spot doesn't drop us down into the Conference League, but that spot drops us down into the Conference League. That drops us into second qualifying round, League Path second qualifying round. I have no idea. We'll find out, right? We'll find out. So thank you very much, El Norby. Congratulations to beat Karabag at both games. Not bad going, is it? Imagine if we spank Breidablik. How bad are Floriana or whatever their opponent was called? So I don't know anything about Floriana. Is that as in Tallinn? Is that Estonia? It's it's Floriana as in Malta. Okay. Right. That makes a lot of sense, let's be fair. Malta, they've been going since 1894. How about that? Yeah, so you reckon that Karabag is better than Breidablik, right? Possibly. I think that I would probably expect them to be better than Breidablik, but also I didn't expect us to beat Karabag, so who knows? Whiten signs a new contract. Beautiful. El Norby says they are. The match tactics before the game. So the way that I prefer my training is I prefer having the tactical sessions in the mornings beforehand, They help focus not just on some of the tactical familiarity elements, but also make sure that players are working on their specific roles too. So that's my preferred approach. So you need to still win one. It does look like that, indeed. So there's rumours of a Matches Tell Christopher Nkunku swap deal coming up, being reported by Fabrizio Ornstein and the German media. Interesting. Would love to have Nkunku at Bayern, but not for the cost of losing Tell. I mean, I quite like Nkunku. I think that Nkunku is a really good player, rather underutilized by Chelsea. I'm not as big on Matches Tell personally. I think that'd be a great deal, but I also don't see much of Matches Tell, so I'm not necessarily best positioned to comment there. Right, so Tiny Parder says Ipswich beat Floriana 10-0 in the European Cup in 1962. That's all I know about Floriana. I mean, 10-0 is pretty conclusive, isn't it? Let's be fair. HJK drop points. Marvellous stuff. So Inter Turku can move up to second if they beat us. Sir Holofab is not a big fan of Nkunku, but Tell is better on the left or right. How can you not be a fan of Nkunku? Like, okay. Red Bull pre-injury Nkunku was brilliant. Since then, he's had injuries and not played properly for Chelsea, so perfectly reasonable not to rate him much. So, Inter Turku, we can win this, right? That's going to be Satari back in, all of these guys on the bench. I'm going to put Clement back in there. Thought Okereke's been okay. The finger out, Stafitsky in. That is basically our full strength team, apart from Brighton. Yeah, so that's what we go with. We're away from home, so we're going to take Be More Expressive off. We're going to be ready to go to the two-man strike force, I think, potentially at half-time, if things aren't necessarily going our way. We've got one substitution outside. Holmberg, right, yeah, that's fine. Lundberg, Rockman, Finger, Bawa, Diane, Clement. Yeah, I'm okay with that. So the away game here against Inter Turku, the away game against Ilves, those are the two games that most pose a threat to our potentially invincible season. Stick with the media stuff. Say some nice things to Snore and Reitinen. Let's do this. So you'd much rather ship out one of Gnabry, Sane, Coman to Chelsea and loan Tell to Frankfurt as a Malmouche replacement? I certainly couldn't argue with that. I'm amazed that Sane is still there, to be honest. Holofab likes the RBL and Nkunku, but I also get it that like it's been a long time since we've seen the RBL and Nkunku. Ansu Fati and Ferran Torres is the best left winger out there. Bayern or Chelsea can get a 2 for the price of 1. Surely you just need to wait until Barcelona are declared bankrupt and you can get all of them for absolutely nothing. Surely it's only a matter of time before they can stop somehow cheating their way through. Yakub creates some good stop there from the keeper. So actually Teller's been kind of struggling on the left. His decision making is pretty poor, but to be fair has been getting very limited opportunities. He's also under the auspices of Vincent Kompany, so you know it's kind of like having an extra handicap there. Lester says they're secondary to the threat of me on the stream. No comment. I'm here. Have we played the Champions League qualifying? ACAB, we have played the Champions League qualifying, and unfortunately, it ended 6-0. We drew Karabag. You know, that's a tough draw for a team of our stature, like Azerbaijani Giants, team that has pedigree in Europe, reaching you know, competitions proper in the past. And yeah, we absolutely smashed them 6-0. 4-0 at their place, 2-0 at ours. So we're into the second round. It's marvellous against Breidablik. Who'd have thought it? Who'd have thought it? Right, 36 minutes in, nothing much. We've had a couple of early chances. Here's Yakub. Can Yakub make it? Oh, Yakub. Why was Sutari just standing there during that? Like, the ball was played forward to Sutari and he just, like, yeah, I can't be bothered to do anything. Yeah, I feel like we don't need to chase the win in this game. Dahlstrom with his shot, just over. We don't want to let Interturku into it, but yeah, we don't need to go too hard. Ease off tackles. We don't really have a right back on the bench. We can play Diane out there. He played there quite a bit last season, so that's all right. So Lukmar likes Tell as a striker more, and be sad to see him go. Has an amazing attitude and I think a lot of potential, but not developing with us as he should, which is fair. And so Fatty can barely even play for Brighton. That's also fair. He was seasick in Brighton. That's a claim. That is definitely a claim. So yay, how many rounds till league phase? There are 3 more rounds to go. But if we win one more round in whichever competition we end up in, that guarantees us European League stage, which would be rather nice. Right. Diane is coming on at right back so that he can be a little bit more aggressive with the tackles. Yakub is going to make way for Lundberg as we push into our more attacking phase. Poacher. Dahlstrom should be on take more risks, not play more direct. Yeah, there we go. There you go. Those are the changes so far. So why do I think that of Sane? I think that Sane is a player who is Stavitsky. Sorry, Stavitsky's cross easily gathered by Schrick. I think that Sane is a player who has spent a lot of his career being not quite elite, and that's great. It's important to have players that can play very well, but his final product isn't very consistent, and I'm surprised. It's a great save from Snore. I'm surprised that Bayern have stuck with him that long. You would have thought that after like a few seasons, they'd probably go, okay, you're pretty good for us. We can sell you for a pretty penny, and we can probably bring in someone else who, like you, might be a little bit inconsistent, and we hope that they develop to get some of that consistency down the line. Right, into the last 15 minutes. Now we're going to start chasing. Chasing means we're going to bring on the finger. We're going to bring on Bawa. That's just a defensive change because he's tired. And let's be more expressive. Push that tempo up. Let's in fact really go for it there. We're going with a third player push forwards. Can we steal it in the last few minutes, or do we throw it away? Right, Ryton over the free kick, plays it out to Diane, down the line, my man. Good, there's Savitsky, plays it through. Here's Sitari's in behind Sitari. Sitari, that is what we wanted. There we go, in the last 5 minutes. And as the replay, oh no, we can't make this change whilst the replay's happening. Stavitsky with a lovely ball down the channel. Sitari, I thought he was going to cross it for Lundberg, who was offside. He doesn't. Just sends it high into the net. And oh, here's the replay. Tight offside. Yeah, I thought it was fine. It was fine. Yep, there we go. Now I need to pause it. I need to pause it so that I can make the last change, which is that we go back to what we had before. Inverted winger on attack. All of these off. And do we have someone we can bring on for Dahlstrom? No, we don't. But we can bring on Rockman for Stavitsky. That should be all right. So now just to hold on in the last few moments. Or can we get a second? Enquist with the cross. With the corner even. He will send it in to the far post. Lundberg's header is hoo high. Nothing happening there. So Tell hasn't found his best position yet. As Lukmar No Pants said, his decision making is not good enough for a winger. He also struggles as a box striker against deep blocks, which of course we faced most of the time at Bayern. He definitely needs a loan move, but somehow refuses to do so. It's weird to think that he's still young, because it feels like he's been around the squad for a very, very long time. Right, gang, calling it for the night. Have a good rest of stream. Thank you very much for dropping by, Adam. Really, really appreciate it, my dude. Isn't he working as a groomer as well? Isn't who working as a what? I feel like is there something really bad? Oh dear. So I watch every Bayern game, and Sane is so good and so shit. He's the most frustrating tosser on the pitch when he's not in absolute peak form. I think I was a little bit more polite, but yeah, exactly that. So Holofab wants to know, have I experimented with defensive wingers? So I have used defensive wingers, and so I don't mind defensive wingers. We used them, in fact, we were using them in, I'm sure we used them at some point during this save, or it might have been in the AC Moneyball one. Generally speaking, I find that defensive wingers are too aggressive in pressing for what I usually want to do. I don't mind like having one occasionally, but they often get pulled out of position, which I'm not too keen on when it comes to dropping into a defensive block. So Lukmar says he gets paid way too much for too little output. Tiny Parda says Leo Sane was great against Arsenal, but it was up against Kivior, so I don't know if that says much. That's fair. Now, just his hairstyling. Wrong use of the word there. Right. Okay. That's a very, very different thing. 15 goal contributions every season and excellent underlying numbers. Not sure if I agree. Doing it for Bayern is, of course, a bit different than less dominating clubs. So I used defensive wingers a lot in the beginning because we didn't have fullbacks. Indeed. And we didn't have players at all. Right. Now I'm getting distracted because what I should be doing pretty much right at this moment is this. Boom, that's a big result for us. Now, if Inter Turkey had won, they would have moved into second place. I think they would have been within something like... so we would have been on 35 points. They would have been 4 points behind us. We've now opened out an 8-point lead, which is huge. Huge. I think this kind of... oh, that's not so good, though. Enquist is injured. He'll miss the first leg of the tie, but we've got Clement Attlee. That'll be all right. So training, rest, 1 day. Our team would then look like that. Chuck all these lads onto the bench. Look at which other ones we've got. There is Lofgren and... into the under-20s. It was Blard, isn't it? We gave a number to. Stefan Blard. Clearly destined for great things. Yeah, that should be all right. We can head on in there. So the gap is opening up. Exactly. The gap is opening up. So the eye test is absolutely against him here, though. His number should probably be much higher, but he is so wasteful. I feel like if Leroy Sane was still 23, absolutely fine. But he's not really improved since he was 23. He is very much a... we did suggest that Clement Attlee would get recalled. When I don't want him to get recalled, though, is when we've just lost a player to injury. Oh. I hate Joe Garden sometimes. So let's see what Gökhan Inler has for us. I want a left back on loan. Dennis Widgren is a player we've seen come up before, but we don't have any scout information on him. Kind of okay. What are the terms that they want? £1,300 a week. No, thank you. Dibber is another player that's also come up a couple of times before. He played okay in the Superettan on loan. Let's see what the deal is there. Might be a little bit more patient. They want him to be an important player. Not keen on that either. Gustav Friberg is not a player I'm familiar with. So he's playing in Danish Superliga. Not great. Not awful, though. Let's see what the loan terms would be there. Again, a grand a week isn't really something that I'm keen on for what we're actually looking at, which is a backup left back. What about backup left wing backs? We've got Mustafa Sek. He's currently under a bid from other teams, so we're not really going to get into that battle. Matej Tuka. No games really to judge off there, to be fair. Right, I think we're going to be looking at that, which actually, to be honest though, we've been going for a few hours now, so I was going to plan on finishing up around 10 o'clock as it is anyway, and we're about 7 minutes away from a break. So rather than draw it out until the break and force people through adverts, let's call it here. We're going to be back again tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So you see, at least with Clement Attlee on your team, getting players back from injury should be free. If only, what wonderful timing that was. So Clement Attlee, by the way, Carl Daniel, we changed his name by his name is Attlee Manor, so we changed it to Clement. But there we go. So, oh my God, the Facebooks looks like a game on iOS called Football Chairman. Does it now? Maybe if Football Chairman want to offer me some money to do drawings for them, I will definitely be keen to. Although they're probably not good enough to be paid for. Let's be fair. Djurgårdens are scum. They are indeed. Time to sign Winston instead. Let's see if we can go through all the former prime ministers. Freiburg has Rory Delap-esque throw-ins. That could be something we could make use of. Right. So let's head on over. First thing we normally do is we're going to end the stream over on YouTube first, guys. Thank you very much for popping by. If you enjoyed the stream, please consider leaving a like, subscribing, all that usual shabazz. Well, as I said, we'll be back tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. GMT. I'd love to